So I've got 48 Zollstocks and a load of foam pre-cut, but hopefully I've set it all up right because I'm on my own tonight, there's no mat. So it was a bit frantic getting things set up, but we got there in the end, so that's all we need to do. Hi, I'm just saying hello, then I have to go. Hello Hugo, how are you doing? I remember you from last week. Hope you're doing all right, mate. And we've got, let's go on the 50/50 so you can see what's going on. Got this whole pile of stuff to sort out. Let's have a look at this. There we go. I think we've added our first moderator. How are you doing, Scott? Sorry for last night. You were there, bang on time, and we had the evening wrong. 48, you've certainly got the bug. Absolutely, I've got some absolute belters here too. So I thought tonight we can organise them and also kind of talk about the order that I got them all in as well. So, like I say, it was a bit of a crazy one this evening because my cameraman and manager Matt is not here, just me this evening. So that's how it goes sometimes, isn't it? Hello there, hello Cameron. That is a lot, it is a lot, but that's how it goes really. It all started off with, where's the ones, because that's the other thing, I've got them all out the drawers, and I'll have to go through now and figure out which ones are the first ones. That was one of the early ones, the old Jonas. This came from Hornbach. Most of the shops in Germany have. Hi Jona, can I ask what you use to cut the big sheets down to size with each toolbox? Well, it's not very much. All I use is a long straight edge, like this one, a metre straight edge. And then in our pro cutting kits comes one of these 18mm snap-off knives. So there's nothing too special about them. They are quite nice in that there's a load of blades in the handle, so you can kind of slide that blade all the way out, pull that trigger back, and then you've got another fresh blade. So they're quite nice. They come in our pro cutting kits, and that's all I use to convert sheets down. I've got one Zollstock from Phoenix Contact. Can we trade? I've not heard of Phoenix Contact, but I'm sure I've got one I could trade. I'm trying to base all of these around hand tool brands. I'm trying to just pick up hand tool brands really, and then like tool stores, tool shops. So maybe Phoenix Contact is an electrical store. That'd be my guess. Who else have we got? So we've got Kevin Osborne, 48, that is. I think I've read that one. But we've got a fair few, yeah. And the thing is, I've got a couple more in a drawer in bags over there because I've not finished shooting the videos yet, so I can't bring them into the collection, but probably got about 50 now, 51. Is this camera looking at what we're looking at? It's going to be a little bit of faffing tonight, just getting, I want to put these in some sort of order in the way that I got them. And I've got to keep my eyes on my phone as well because I'm on my own. So any feedback, you've got to let me know. Big feedback from last week was the AI camera. That was making everybody seasick apparently. So we've switched that off, I've centered it, and I've also set it right next to the screen. So hopefully, I'm reading comments, but it looks like I'm looking at you guys. So get your questions in. Any questions you've got about foam, tools, Man United. There's some subjects I'm happy to talk about. Or darts. If you didn't know already, we play darts on stream. There's the darts board set up. It took me a while to get that going this evening. Technology is great until it's not, and then it's stressful, but that's how the dartboard works. So we'll have a game when Pat Bird gets there. Right, so let's go back to that one. So I've got two angles. I've got this one, and I've also got this one as well in set, but we'll stick on the 50/50 for now. And I'll start. So this is a draw out of the JCB toolbox, which is, if you've not seen a video, it was a toolbox collaboration between JCB and Aston Martin, and they sent us that for free. That we'd do a video on it and get it organised and make some content for them. So it's now going to house the Zollstock collection. Let's check everything's working all right. I'm a bit paranoid being on my own. Seems a bit odd speaking to nobody, but in the room that is. Did the 4-in-1 wire tool work? Yeah, it's pretty good. I just tend to stick with traditional snips and wire snippers though, so I don't really use tools like that, but I've got it for my next, let's say, wiring job. I might roll it out and have a proper go of it, because it works stripping the cables. This is what you're on about, isn't it? It worked stripping the cables all right, and this is quite nice to like rip off the outer sheathing of cables. That can be quite nice. So I like it. I was quite impressed with the electrical scissors. I felt like they were decent, because they really could get through some thick braided cables, those. And a pretty good deal on. If you're not up to speed with what we're talking about, this week's video, 3 days ago on Friday, was quirky Milwaukee tools that I got from Spain, and one of them was the headlight tape measure, which is a bit of a beauty. It's like a 7.5 meter tape, but it's got a light on the front to light up the tape when you're working. So I thought that was pretty cool. Bang, you can tell that drawer's not foamed out yet. Let's have a look what's going on. I feel like I'm missing a trick here without Matt. Matt would usually be giving me the thumbs up if everything was working properly. But we'll work it out, we'll work it out. So that's that screen. And that is that one. Yeah, I think we're working. I mean, obviously there's a stream delay as well, but I think we've got it. Did you find the last use it has? Yes, somebody actually messaged about that. I read the chat and someone has one, and they basically said that on the end here, there's like a little thing you can rotate, and it's for kind of, you can kind of just see it there. On the end, there's like a little rotating thing, and it basically can do round cable or square cable. And that's the technical fourth use. But got there in the end. Right, Matt's here because he's just dropped a comment in, so I guess that means he's watching at home. How you doing, Matt? Hope your leg's doing better, mate. Hi, Debbie from New Zealand. Weir or Wearer? A bit of both, really. I have no special loyalties to any of them, and but Weir have some amazing stuff, and then just Weir always surprise me. One of my favourite Weir tools. Keep going back to this drawer because these are some of the most recent kind of tool pickups drawers that I've got. Can you even see this drawer in the video? No, I could do with that camera being high, couldn't I? Maybe that's a job for next week. I've just put the camera lower. Now I'm lifting it up again. Where is it? Here they are. I've got two pairs. Oh, there you go. There's one in the wall, actually. That's a better one to use. And you can see it. So this is a Weir tool here. It's called a Weha. It's called a bi-cut. And it's the only pair of snips that's got like a power button on. Bit of a weird old thing, isn't it? Well, basically what that does is it moves the, like the pivot point of the pliers. So you push that in, and it kind of gives them a much higher torque, and you can kind of go through, like they have like it going through chain link, and they're just pretty, they are a powerful cutter, these. I've cut chain link on a video, but I've not done a lot, put them to really hard work, so don't know how the hardened steel tips would last up to some stuff, but cool, I like them. They'll be going in one of my kits, one of the compact or ultimate electrical kits. Jona's missing you. I'm just finding my way on my own. That's what I'm doing. And we're working it. We've got buttons here, so I can do most of it myself anyway, but it's sometimes just having that... Papa Stove says, thank you. The freaking camera about made me motion. It did me, you know, I watched it back and I was like, blooming heck, yeah, it sounds good on paper, doesn't it, AI tracking? But didn't quite work. Right, so let's start going through the order of play here, on the order that I got them. So one of the first ones I got was the Jonas. So let me, where can you see? Right, so one of the first ones I got was this Jonas one from Hornback. And then we got this is a Festool one from Fricker. I'm just going to lay them all out in order, and if there's any of note. Obi was a pretty quick one. So was Globus Baumarkt. These were the first trip to Germany where I kind of got the bug. And in Germany, there are a lot of people, they do collect these. There's a lot of people collect these folding rulers because they are so readily available. Obi, Worth was a first trip one. I did buy a couple on Amazon while I was over there, which aren't particularly special. Eisenhower Messer was quite a quick one. Do you have a South African distributor, David Long? Not yet, but we do ship to South Africa. So on shadowfoam.com, you can have an express and an economy shipping option from there. We don't have a distributor though, especially in South Africa. We have had a few inquiries from South Africa. I think we've had 2 different retailers who were interested. Yeah, it's Matty says he'd never admit it, but I know he does. Well, there's something about having another person here, Matt, and obviously you are a camera video expert, so you've got an ear for it and an eye for it. It's definitely valuable, mate. Right, let me figure out what the next ones were. So, Tomb, that was an early one. That's another store from Germany. It's gonna be tricky unraveling the order of these, to be fair, because I'll maybe have to start from the beginning and then start from the most recent ones. So the most recent ones, we got Ironside from Spain. Bauhaus, that was an early Bauhaus one. And then Cologne, Barcelona was a recent one. Has anyone else got any of these Zollstocks? Has anyone picked up a Shadow Foam Zollstock yet? That'll have to go in the early, that'll have to go in the first draw. Lamello, that was sent to us from a viewer. Jona's far. Is that the plan, Graham? Going back to live in South Africa and distributing Shadow Foam? It's a good plan. I'm in support. But only if you do it for like a 6-month window and we come and visit you and then you come back. Like what I'm doing in Australia. No, America. That's how we're going to be doing America. Barry, you've got one. Very good. What do you reckon? That was about midway through. I think I had maybe 15, 20 Zollstocks before we got a Shadow Foam one. Connects was around this time. You can see what I'm doing, can't you? Yeah, so we'll put that one there. We'll get somewhere. Still's a pretty recent one, so is Milwaukee. Got 2 Milwaukee ones, to be fair. Got the Milwaukee wooden one and the white one. Oh, all working well. Just about got the stream working. You got an Einl one? Do I have? Yeah, I have an Einl one. Can't remember where I picked that one up, to be fair, but I did get a couple from Amazon in Germany, because obviously German Amazon has different stuff. And while I was there, I was trying to see if I could pick any up. I can't get over here. We have done some tool draws in the JCB cabinet, Scott, but it was just the JCB tools. Yeah, a Festool one. Got 2 Festool ones, to be fair. This is that's the classic Festool one, which you, there's the camera. That's the classic Festool one. You can get that one in the UK quite readily. And then this is a Festool one, which was made for a tool store in Germany called Fricke. And Fricke is in the video, the one with the really big orange thumbnail that talks about like weird tools from Germany. And I went round Fricke. That was like, it's hard to describe it really. It's like a hardware store that's not a chain. So it's not really like your local hardware, because this place, it's like a Screwfix in that you can only go to the counter. You can't look around like a traditional, like your local hardware guy. They've just got a counter with a few bits, but then literally it's like Granville's shop. Like whatever you ask for, they would have had it. Now obviously I went in there like a crazy English guy who didn't really speak much German, and I was like, I just want to have a mooch really. And they're like, what is mooch? No, they didn't say that, but they said they want to, basically I was trying to like use my phone to say like, can I just have a look around what you've got? Looking for weird tools. And eventually they let me go and have a look around, and I ended up getting some right weird stuff. And that was one of the earliest ones I got really, but it was only like a couple of euros. But I wasn't collecting them at that point. They probably had more, and I didn't know what I was looking for at the time. But it was one of the best stores, Fricke. And when I go back to Wolfsburg, which is that city, I will definitely be going back there and having a look around, because they had I got a lot of toolboxes from there, some really rare ones. That Makita rolling toolbox that I chopped up, that was from Fricker. Got a Baco one. Beta tools. I think some of them could do a bit of a better job, like Beta tools. They could put a bit of orange on there and make it more in line with their branding, but Stalwart. Hassett's a lovely quality German brand. Lovely. Awesome collection, thanks Mad McRae. It's getting there, just keep going. Every time I see a different one, I'm adding to it, and I think there's not many hand tools that have such a big brand printed on them, is there? If you think about pliers and screwdrivers, there's not many tools on the market that have like a really nice big brand. It's almost like a logo card, isn't it? But you got a Shadow Foam one. That's one of my favourites. Nice big logo, and it's black with red ends. It's got to start the collection somewhere. Are these Zollstocks only metric or also imperial? Well, they're a mixture, really. Ironically, the word Zollstock or Zollstock means inch stick. So really, they should all be imperial. But most of them that I can see here are metric. So here you go. Here's like a selection of like just the first 5. You can kind of see they're all metric on both sides. But then I can see a couple that are like your traditional metric and imperial tape. So like that one, for example, is metric and imperial, but they're all called inch sticks, or I think they call them in Germany as well, Glieber stick. I thought you would have had a Weir orange one in your collection. I've got a better one than that. I've got a Weir red one. And this is like composite plastic, isn't it? So you can use it around electrics and it won't conduct. Good to catch you again, TBR. Thanks for joining the live stream. I think we're getting the hang of it a little bit more now. The plan is to I've got a lot of foam to cut that I want to have all the toolboxes nicely organised in Shadow Foam here at the unit, and I never really get time to cut the tools in, and I thought if I'm going to do that, I best make content out of it. I can't be cutting foam and not making a video, so we thought, well, a lot of these things, they don't feel like our traditional videos now with the weird tool hunts, but just cutting some foam on stream, and we thought maybe might be the happy medium, but you know, it's always good to hear your feedback. Have you ever CNC Shadow Foam? Yeah, loads of times. We've done a video on CNC laser in it, and then CNC mill in it, and it does mill and laser really well. But obviously our kind of focus is always showing people how they can do it at home with no expensive equipment. So even though we do have CNC equipment here, I do tend to lean away from using it in the videos, unless it's a single dedicated video to kind of answer that question. I mean, it is getting more and more readily available, isn't it, CNC equipment? So I think there'll be a time there we could probably start talking about it more, but getting there now with the layout. This is a nice one, Witter. That's a really good tool brand from Germany, and they have they're the ones who had the cork screwdriver handles that were really good. What about with the router? Yeah, CNC, it mills really well because it's quite a dense polyethylene foam. It's before this we had polyurethane, that didn't mill very well at all. But I think we've got a bit of a happy medium now in that it does mill quite well. We don't, like I say, do it very often, but we've had customers that have sent pictures of what they've managed to achieve, and it's fantastic. Have I missed any comments here? I'm gonna have to scan up. By the way, Ingo says, by the way, Screwfix had a special on the Weir screwdrivers I got for almost half price. That's a good deal. On Weir as well. They'll last you a lifetime. I think Weir screwdrivers are really, really good. I like the fact they've got quite a narrow, especially the VD ones, they don't have thick insulation on them, so you can kind of get them into terminal slots quite well. Right, I think we're nearly out of layout now. I've not quite the right order. Can you see everything? Let's go back a bit wider. I feel like I've got the cameras not quite right. The AI was helping me keep everything in frame. Without the AI, I've kind of got to keep my eye a little bit more on it. But we'll get there. Right, so I've got a couple more. So I'm trying to put 16 in a drawer. So that's 8, 8, 8. That one's 7 there, so I need one extra in there. And then I will try and kind of change up the order a little bit. Suggestion, think about arranging them in alphabetical order. It's not a bad shout, you know, because I am struggling to remember the actual order that I bought them in. Some of them are like, you can tell a really good quality one as well. You can kind of see like a cheaper one here is kind of like, let me show you that one. So you can see a lot of gaps between it. You can kind of see them rotating it. And if I get a quality one of the best ones available is, now I'm no historian of tools, but from what I've learned, Hultafors were the original like inventors of it. And I'll show you a trick that they do to show how strong theirs are. You can see it's the same 2 meter rule, but it's like a good chunk thinner. I'll show you where shadow foam sits in the kind of width of that. It's kind of like the happy middle. So it's a good bit thinner than the cheapest ones, but not quite the Hultafors. I would speak to Hultafors about getting them to do a shadow foam Hultafors one, because this is the one that the guys at the tool shows, when they're demonstrating this one, they do this trick where they touch the ends together and it goes in a big circle. Will it do it? Yeah. If you do that with any other one, including the shadow foam one, it'll get to about here and then it'll snap. But they use like a stronger grade of birch, and they can make it thinner and they can make it a bit solider. So maybe the next batch of shadow foam ones will talk to Hultafors, because you know, I do think they do white label ones. They can brand them. Jerome, he has a mini Zollstock inch stick drum stock. It's about 1.5 meters. Yeah, I've got a couple of oddball Zollstocks as well. I've got to go off camera now. The AI would usually follow me, but I'm still here. I've got a drawer with a couple of weird Zollstocks in. Not many yet, but every now and then I'll pick up any oddball ones. So I've got the, probably similar to what you're talking about. That's a meter Zollstock. We give that one up. We give a few of those away, actually. Oh, and then we've got another one, which is similar, just unbranded. 2 mini ones, and then this other little keyring one as well. I don't know which way I'm turning these to the wrong camera, but yeah, so I do pick up the odd ones, but it's all about, oh, and that one as well. This thing is a bit hopeless, really. I can't remember what video this was in, but it's like a meter, and it's all, look at this, it's all falling apart. It's like it's a 1 meter folding ruler, but it's loosey-goosey. Loosey-goosey, baby. So that one's a bit hopeless, but right then. So Graham said alphabetical order. Good to catch you again. Decent collection now. Thank you. Yeah, well, we're getting there. We're going to keep going. Just get the ones we've got organised so far. That's the problem with alphabetical order, Graham. I am always buying them, aren't I? Every tool kind of hunt. I'm getting a few more, so not sure. One from Racone Tools. Is that Racone or is that Rabone? Because yes. Bert, did you send me the Rabone one? I think I'm just connecting the dots because I'm not fully sure, because obviously I see a lot of names and I'm just trying to remember. But let me know, was it you sent the Rabone one? Because if it is, I've got it basically still packaged because we want to include it in a video. I didn't want to just open it and kind of lose it in the collection. We wanted to kind of open it and mention it in a video, really. So I think that's still on Matt, the video manager's desk, waiting to be slotted into a video where it makes sense. So I think the last couple of videos we've been out with the country on the tool hunts and stuff. Right, so I think that's pretty much the layout, which I'm pretty happy with. So we're just going for like 8 and 8 basically, and then I'm going to put like finger tracks in. So I think we're getting there now. What are we at? Right, 25 minutes of organising square items, but you know, it's how it goes, isn't it? Right, so let's zoom this in and I'll show you how to cut shadow foam. And not that you already know by now, but where I would start basically. And with something like this, I always get a little bit of masking tape. Nothing fancy, nothing out of the ordinary, just standard masking tape. I think I got it to you 4th of October. Yes. Yeah, I've had a look at it. It's a really nice one. I think it's only the second one we've ever been sent, Bert, so you're in a very exclusive club. We've had a couple of offers since your one, I think, and then someone did send me a lamello one, which is this one. There. But yeah, we're gonna be, you'll see it, but stay tuned because you'll see it, it'll pop up on the channel. But Matt usually, who's not here, the one I keep referring to, Matt, is me and Matt film and manage and plan all the content together. And we usually try and like create videos ahead of time because there's so much going on here. Obviously I'm managing Shadow Foam and making videos, so we probably are getting up to about the 4th of October. So I put a row of tape down that side, and that just means I can use that as a reference to make sure they're all square together. And I'll do the same down the other side. And I'm going to start at the top there, and I'm going to kind of do the spacing a little bit random, just because some of the thicknesses of these Zollstocks are all different. Some of them are, as I've just showed you really, with the quality and the cheap ones, some of them are thicker than others. Right then, so can I do that one? That might be better. I'll go a touch wider then. I'm finding the rhythm with it. And that's what I'm cutting. Yes, there we go. That's better. So here we go, we're into cutting the shadow foam now. That's only taken half an hour. But I like to make sure I've got a nice square layout and it's all roughly in order. I can tweak them a little bit as I go, but pretty much this is all the first ones I ever got on this first liner here. The first 16. What's this Friday's video about? And any more Amazon returns in the pipeline? Yeah, we have got another Amazon returns in the pipeline. It's still sat here. I've got 3 pallets, which look pretty crazy, random. Some big, massive, bulky boxes on. One of them's got the word angle grinder written on the side. But getting around to, because it's quite a big time. I've got probably like a day and a half to knock out taking an Amazon pallet apart, and then obviously have all the mess, and you've got to kind of like get it all organised and get the things that go into charity. So it's almost cleaner leaving it as a pallet. So I've got to make sure I've got a day clear pretty much, and maybe even more to get it done. But I'm hoping we could do it probably the back end of this week, going into early next week. Just depends how the week turns out. And this Friday's video is I think it's a shop in France called Bricomarche, and I went to 3 Bricomarches because basically the first one only had a couple of bits, and then each one I went to was a bit different, and I found some pretty cool stuff in Bricomarche. So I think that's this week's, and then I think one that's quite exciting, which is coming, because I did find some cool stuff in Bricomarche, to be fair, but it was a while, it was maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago possibly now, when we shot that. And like I say, we're trying to stay ahead so I can do some big trips, because I'll usually go away and it takes obviously a lot longer, and trying to keep the content kind of flowing on a Friday, we have to work a little bit ahead of ourselves. But I think the one that's the week after this week is basically all my best finds on Amazon, which is, so I'm not going to a country to find quirky tools. I just kind of spent a few hours trawling through Amazon. And you know what? There's some absolute built-in tools that are really unusual just on Amazon. You just need to know what to search for, really. And I'm looking at it here. There's a big pile of, I might spin the camera a little bit, just out of, for those intrigued. So this camera, although it was AI, it's going the wrong way now. I turned the AI off. Maybe I need to look at settings really, but if I spin the camera here, the next video we're shooting, which is probably, say, might even be Wednesday, there's a load of tools here from Amazon. What's that got in the camera now? That's the corner of the monitor, because webcam's sat on the monitor. Big box of Amazon parcels there, and they're all weird tools. And there is some absolute belters. Maybe I could have a look at some later. Tease one or two. Are you planning on going to Denmark anytime soon? Absolutely. Denmark is well on our hit list to go and visit. It's one of the countries that I think is interesting, but also feels a bit easier, a bit more attainable, because I can drive to Denmark in my van, and then whatever I find, I can just bring it back with me rather than having to try and organise the logistics. Tell you what, I sent back a lot of stuff from France, and it was pretty hard going, I'll say that. I had 3 big boxes to ship back, and I just thought, look, I'll just rock up at the local French post office. Like, how hard can it be? You know, in the UK, if you sell something on eBay to France, what do? You just go down the post office, write the address on, off it goes. You know, you're not there for more than 10 minutes. Anyway, I don't think they've ever had anything happen to them at this local post office quite like this. I walked in with there's two older ladies, and they kind of, I walk in there with the app, and they had a little bit of a queue. Luckily it wasn't that busy, but there were a few people, and I'm there trying to, like, because I was in the south of France, and I would have driven if we could, but we were on holiday there, and then also at the same time just trying to, you know, go do a bit of tool shopping on the when all the family are by the pool and I can squeeze it out tool shopping, I will. And I rocked up with these 3 boxes in this app trying to say, look, I want to ship these back to the UK, and it was just hard work, I tell you. And they just kept saying no, we can't do it. And I was just kind of persevering a little bit and saying, what do you mean? What do you mean you can't do it? And they were saying, you need an address. I was like, my address is where I'm staying. The house that we're staying at. And they're like, no. And I think they were just trying to get me to walk out the shop, but then they were like, it's your risk on the app. But I thought, what am I supposed to do? Whatever even if I find an online courier and get them collected, it's always going to be my risk, isn't it? You know, what can you do really? I can obviously do a little bit of insurance, but we all know that postal insurance is, it's like if the worst happens and the parcel goes missing, you can have a nightmare trying to put a claim in, but eventually you'll get some money back. What you really want to do is to make sure it's shipped with a good enough courier. What I was trying to say to the ladies, I wasn't trying to ship this thing like budget post, you know, the carrier pigeon. I wanted to send it via their like express good service. Anyway, it was flipping, it was a bit of a nightmare, but it got here, it did arrive. It didn't quite beat me back. The stuff that I shipped back from America beat me back to the UK. It was crazy. 15 boxes with DHL, and they collected them from the hotel, and it was the smoothest bit of shipping I've ever had. Honestly, I was like, they collected the boxes from the hotel, they came in with a little sack truck, loaded all 15 boxes up on the wagon, and then I got back to the UK and they were here literally like the same day or within hours. It was like really, really quick. We're getting there now. I've got a few in, nice and square. You can drive to France as well. I've read that one. Yeah, well, that is the ideal really. If I can drive to a country, because I'm quite happy with a drive to Europe. We've been over to Europe many times and taken the Channel Tunnel, and it's quite nice. I quite like it. Can be quite hard with 3 kids, but if you manage the kids properly, it's almost the drive itself is not that hard. So we try and go in an evening and then let them sleep for a good portion of it. But then obviously you've got your van and you can have as much toolboxes and tools as you want. There's no kind of limit on it. And I'm just buying singles of stuff, aren't I? So I'm not going there like Del Boy and Rodney bringing back pallet loads of stuff. But yeah, I do try and tie in my, like, if I'm visiting a country for business or holiday, or that's when I try and optimize the tool hunts around, just because it feels efficient time-wise and, you know, cost-wise. But Denmark is somewhere that I've kind of earmarked to go on holiday, or to go there with our family from Germany to kind of do a week there or something. I think there's some really beautiful houses on that kind of beautiful places to stay on that coastline. Getting in here, done a few. Just thought I'd do the top ones just so I've got a nice line to work from. So it was a busy Monday for me. How's everyone's Monday gone? And was anyone here for yesterday's kind of false start live stream, let's call it? Because it was advertised as yesterday. If you drive to Denmark, if you do drive to Denmark, try and get some Christmas beer. You'll love it. Christmas beer. Yeah, well, I don't think we'll be going this year. So I think we'll miss Christmas. But maybe into the school, you know, maybe into early next year. I think the next big trip is America, really. But the thing with Europe is it's close enough that I can just we can end up going there last minute, really. Do UK customs? Oh, enemy. Just purchased my first load of shadow foam today. Thank you for the code on the stream. Legend. Happy days. Oh, that worked out well then. Simply 10, if anyone wanted to know. Last stream, enemy asked if there was any active codes, and I said Simply 10 is a 10% discount code you can use at the moment. Do UK customs give you much trouble on your way back in? I've not had any trouble. I think it's quite acceptable, really, to go away and do shopping, isn't it? I mean, obviously, it's like they're tools, so they are related to a business, but it's no different than going there and buying clothes and hats and all sorts of things. I'm just buying different tools for me to talk about in a video. So, and then the most of any item I'm ever buying is 5, which we're giving away. So I don't think there'd be a problem even if it did get stopped. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be worried about it. Put it that way. Nothing untoward about having a bag of tools. And obviously I always have the receipts and everything as well. And if I did get, you know, any queried about what's going on and they wanted to bill me, well, there you go. That's how it goes. It's a bit of a lottery with customs, isn't it? Because even when you import parcels from AliExpress or Temu or wherever, sometimes you get a letter saying, you've got a customs bill to pay. And then other times it just turns up in a bit of dodgy packaging all the way from China with no word. So it is totally a lottery, really. Customs. Tax deductible vacation. Well, not at that stage yet. Usually I'm just planning it around normal vacations. I don't plan my vacations around tool hunts yet, but maybe I'll get to that stage. It just so happens we were going to France and Spain. We're on the border, and I thought, the funny thing is, it's what I would naturally do anyway. Before I was doing that kind of thing before I was making videos about it, because if I see a tool shop and it's convenient, it's not going to disrupt, you know, the plans. You know, I'm there on a family holiday at the end of the day. I'm not going to take the kids and wife all around tool shops. So, you know, family and relaxation first. But if there's a chance that I can have a mooch around a tool shop, even before I was doing videos, I would always do that. And there was quite a few tools that I picked up from different countries. Nothing big. I mean, obviously it's got a little bit, it's kind of different now because I'm focusing on videos and getting whatever I can that's weird, basically. Whereas before I'd be a bit more choosy and just get the odd thing. But I'd always like to come away with something as a bit of a memento. Rather than a fridge magnet or some bit of tat, I'll get a tool and it'll go in my toolbox. Feels like money well spent then, doesn't it? Monday is the first towards the weekend. That is it, step 1. Every journey starts with that first step, and every week starts with your Monday. Maybe the live stream, something to mix up the Mondays moving forward. Be a god. Be a god. So let me add that in. So it said, if you drive to Denmark, try and get some Christmas beer, God, you'll love it. Oh, right. I've got yeah, Christmas beer. Right, okay. Christmas beer. Well, I didn't know Denmark was famous for its beer. I thought it was all about German beer. But what would you recommend? What is the German beer of choice for you? Because maybe I can get it over here. What is that cutting bit you used on the driver? Right, yeah, good question. That is a smoothing spinner, and these are made in the UK, and I love them. They're very, very simple. So it's a 1/4 inch bit. Where am I looking? Oh, I'm on the front camera. I've been on the front camera for ages. Right, goodness me. This is why I need Matt here. He'd have changed it or reminded me. So this is it's a 1/4 inch bit. It's plastic. It's got a little disc on the end. It's about 25, 30 mil, and it kind of goes down to a kind of a thin edge. And then when you put it in the drill, just a standard impactor or any sort of drill, you can use that to help smooth out the bottom of an insert. So let me get right in here. So let's go with this one maybe. So that's foam underneath there. You can kind of just trim any like lumpy bumpy bits out the bottom. They come in our pro cutting kits, but you can buy them separately too. You get 2 in a pack for $4.99, and they're made in the UK. These by Brothers Make. So if you're on YouTube a lot, or if you're on YouTube right now and you want to search Brothers Make, they're a fantastic guys for starters, but also a fantastic kind of channel about how recycling plastic doesn't have to be like an industrial commercial process. It can be done at a DIY level basically. They use panini presses quite heavily. I think they've got their panini press videos do better than their kind of like large scale projects, because I think it's the beauty of it being done at home and being simple. Frankie says, I'm going to guess it says, hello from Spain. Do you like Estwing? And then something about a panel. And I'll say, hello to you in Spain, back. And maybe you're talking about the Estwing in the panel, which is this. This is the only Estwing in the panel, which is like a really nicely metallic painted crowbar made in America that we picked up in the USA Tools. Little beauty that is. That was from Tools and More. All these tools ended up living in this panel, and I always forget about them, even though I bought them for use. But they're in the little display artwork piece now. What bit? Yeah, you've asked that one, haven't I? You put a link to Brothers Make? No, but you've mentioned them. Indigo, I know go, says, I just doing my first shadow foam layout. Do you have a place I can send pictures? Yeah, Instagram, shadow_foam. We love getting pictures of projects and work and everything you've done with foam, and we reshare literally all the pictures we get tagged in of shadow foam projects. So definitely head over there. Shadow_foam on Instagram is what you're looking for. I think next week is going to be the week that we try and go live on multiple platforms. So do any of you guys watch a lot of live streams? Let me know in the comments. So is this new to you? Obviously you've been watching Shadow Foam and you've had a notification that we're going live, and it's something new we're trying, but do you watch many? And any recommendations on what we could do to kind of, you know, keep improving basically? My thought is that the next thing we want to do, while I'm waiting for some comments to come through on that, we're thinking about multi-streaming, so streaming at the same time on Twitch and possibly Facebook, and then we can like basically link all the comments together. I think stream alerts was the other thing. Try and when people follow the channel or subscribe, because I do get messages. Brett Calvin just subscribed, but I need them to come and pop up on the screen. I think that'd be a bit more fun to see what's going on. I get alerts from orders on the website. Not alerts, but like a little mini feed that's showing me So we've got people subscribing on the website, placing orders, and might be fun to have little pop-ups and things. But maybe that's for next week. I watch sometimes a live stream regarding tools. Competitive shadow foam cutting. Competitive shadow foam cutting. I do think we'll do something like that, because we've set, this studio's been, we set up this new studio based upon having a much wider, bigger set so we could have 2 people. And I do think having a live with 2 people would be cool, because we could have a chat about different stuff. I could get some maybe different creators that we've worked with here on the live. That would be quite fun. DeLorean hot tub stream like the Twitch thoughts. Definitely, that is definitely, I can tell you that's not on the list of ideas that we've put together. Just put a lot of work in getting this this workshop set up. I don't know where to put a hot tub. Competitive shadow foam cutting, I had that one. Defo. Let me move the mouse in the way now. Dual stream to Twitch. Chat there is much better than YouTube's chat thing. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and it's about discovery too, isn't it? Because we'd be in the, they've got I was looking on Twitch, and they've got a category called like arts and crafts, something like that. They've got one called just chatting, and then they've got one called arts, crafts, and then creative. I think there was a couple, and I couldn't, and then they've got one called darts too. So I didn't know which one we were going to fall in, but we could maybe try some different ones. There's a great maker community on Twitch. Definitely a good place to stream. Yeah, that's the other thing. I'd like to, you know, do what they call stream raids and stuff like that, but you can't do that on YouTube. So definitely a Twitch thing. Over the years, I've watched a fair bit of Twitch. I'm quite, I don't have any time for gaming, but I'm quite nostalgic in that I'll sometimes remember a game that I used to play when I was younger. And rather than, you know, trying to find the game or, you know, start playing it again myself, because I've never been particularly good at any games, but I did enjoy them, and I used to quite like watching my brother play them because he was always a lot better. But I'd find someone on Twitch who's just doing it really well, and that'd give me that kind of nostalgic hit just to remember, yeah, I was terrible at it. I could never. IRL stream too on Twitch when out at the Tool Fest. Yeah, that is a great idea, Dr. Lauren. I would love to do that. I think there's a streamer that there's a guy I follow called VGC Construction. He's an American chap, Vince, and he goes around Home Depot live on like Black Friday and shows the deals. Sadly, we don't have very good deals in the UK. We were talking about this last week, weren't we? There's not really, they don't really have the same level of tool store that Americans have, and that Black Friday is a bigger thing, but actually Black Friday on tools is a pretty big deal. People stock up on consumables for the workshop and get some really good tools and batteries and stuff, whereas over here it's pretty lacking really. But yeah, I think going around a tool fair live would be pretty exciting, and so would go around a tool shop even. I'd be well up for that. Right, I've spread those out a bit much now, so I need to kind of get another thin one. We'll go for that one. Do you already have the stream assets, pop-ups made, or are you using pre-made packs? I got these graphics made on Twitch. Fiverr. I am back. Hello, Hugo. How are you doing? Yeah, we got these graphics. So I basically got the starting stream, the just chatting, 50-50, cam in cam, the darts, a be right back, and an ending. That's hopefully that's not upset anyone too much. But there you go. I got all of those graphics created on Fiverr, just so we could have some nice standard templates. And then I've set them all up to a stream deck, so I can press one button whilst I'm cutting foam, and I can flick through those. They did make me a couple of stream alerts, but I'm not, like I say, my tech is almost, I'm almost reaching my limits of setting up tech. I'm really not tech savvy, but I'm not that interested in it. If I could avoid it, I would, but I just felt like YouTube is always changing, and they always try and push and kind of grow they always try and grow the platform with like shorts or lives, whatever it is. And I really enjoy lives, so I just thought I'm gonna have to give it a go really. Felt like it was lazy to just not try and figure out the problem. So I kind of took it on as a personal challenge, really. Can I get this thing working? But I feel like I need it to get it like 10% further along. Apologies if I missed it, but what's the drill attachment, Chris? So they're called smoothing spinners, and they're made in the UK, firstly. So we were talking about that a little bit, and here it is. This is the drill attachment, and it is just a really simple bit of plastic with a 1/4 inch bit. You can kind of just about see that, hopefully. 1/4 inch bit, standard, and then on the end is a little plastic disc, and it goes down to a really thin kind of edge. So when that's spinning in the drill, you can use it to smooth out the bottom. So here we go. Let me just push this around. So on this one here, you can use it to just spin out any bumps. And I love little problem-solving products like that. I mean, this is the perfect example of, you know, I never came up with this. I can't claim the design for this. But when I found it, I knew that was something we had to have for our kind of customers. And we have these in our pro cutting kits. They just come included. And then you can buy them 2 for a £5 on the website as well. And they're made in the UK by Brothers Make, who are fellow YouTubers and creators. 2 brothers, Matt and Johnny, are fantastic. They do a lot with recycling plastic and showing you how to do it at home, and kind of like the DIY level materials you can use. And Matt and Johnny make them all for us. We get them in 2 batches of 2,000 at a time. So it's great for us, and it's also great for them. So it's a big win-win, really. I think if there's a Black Friday deal, they only have a few items and they're sold out when you see the listing. Yeah, that's the problem, really. Not just the fact that they're sold out, but they just don't have much choice. Like, you know, you go and B&Q, typically they'll have like a couple of pallets at the front of the store, and they do have Black Friday. They do have, I suppose, quite a selection of Black Friday deals across the whole range. But in terms of tools, it's pretty like slim pickings. You know, you usually have like 1 drill combi kit or something on offer, and then that's it. Whereas in America, it's really like, it's a glut of offers and deals, and you know, you'd have to, if you just watch this VGC construction one of his lives going around the store, you'd be like, wow, everything's got a deal on it. And they've got whole kind of like kind of sections of tools that have just been brought in for Black Friday. They weren't even sold beforehand. Yeah, Black Friday can be to get rid of old stock. It certainly is seen as a kind of a way of shifting dead stock, and they'll put big savings on dead stock. But in America, it really is an event where they actually bring in products that weren't even available before Black Friday. You know, it can be a launch thing. If you're ever looking for a stream upgrade, I work at Paper Crowns, and we make all the stream packs for the top Twitch gamers. Cool. I'll make a note of that, enemy. I'll make a note of it now, because otherwise I will forget. Paper Crowns. I had a pack of stuff made, and it does have some alerts in it and some other bits and bobs, but getting them set up properly and centered, I ended up having to try and figure out some CSS code to get them centered, and I mean, that was where it was really going wrong for me. And I got a little bit of help, but I just felt like, you know, you solve one problem with CSS and you almost cause another problem. I've typed in search Paper Crowns. I'll have a look later. Right, that's 1 row already. We're getting there, so I'll just move that out of the way. So we've already got a bunch cut in, and I've just kind of been chatting the whole time, so you can see how easy it is. Oh, waving it everywhere. So that's the first, what's that, 11. Zollstock's cut in all nice and flush as well. And we'll cut some finger pulls in, and then just know where they all are then. They won't bounce around in the drawer. So we're getting there. We set everything up for you, so it's plug and play. You're speaking my language. That sounds amazing. I was looking for that on Fiverr, but it's a bit of a minefield, isn't it? You feel like, do I really want to give someone who I've never worked with before on Fiverr the login to an account, which is quite important to us. We don't want to have someone running riot on our Twitch account or Shadowfoam account, or any account really, for that matter. Malrob. I can't remember where that one came from, Malrob. Any more top-notch tools in the pipeline from Jack Bird? Well, yes. We had a couple of brands that well, there was about 3 or 4 brands at the same time as Magnum tools that I was speaking to, but they don't half go cold on you when kind of after the show and the buzz had died down. I think it's just because they're so old school and they don't read their emails, and obviously I'm busy with other things, and so I forget to chase them. But I was really keen on getting SATA tools and BMI tools, and I met the president of BMI and he was really keen. I got his card and then just never opened an email subsequently. So I will chase them up, and because some of the tools I really like and you literally cannot get them. It took me a lot of effort to try and even just hunt one down. You know, you've got to set up a VPN on your computer and then go on different like European websites trying to find a supplier, and then sometimes it'll allow you to order, and then I've had orders cancelled because they've seen as soon as it's in the UK, there's quite a lot of European companies now don't want to deal with the UK since Brexit. They don't even, and it's almost like if you manage to get an order through, it's because it was a glitch, and I just have the, whoa, hello. Jordan's here, how are you doing, mate? Artisan Electrics, nice of you to pop in. Yes, you've got, you're into your Zollstocks, aren't you? But you've got a Hilti one. I think I see you using a Hilti one. I think I watched your tool bag video, and you use a Hilti one. But go and check out Artisan Electrics channel if you not already. So it's one of the channels I watch, and he does a lot on. Well, he's an electrician first and foremost, but he's always doing different installs on solar panels, and busy old company, Artisan Electrics and Jordan, but the tool content is where you really get my attention. So but yeah, it became a thing really this year. Started picking up the Zollstocks, and it wasn't really something I'd paid much attention to until I was doing kind of like the weird tool hunts in Germany, and then saw these things are everywhere, and every kind of major German tool brand has got their own folding ruler of some description, and they're just quite visual, aren't they? They're quite a visual tool with a big logo on, so, and obviously not that expensive for what they are. Split them two wooden ones up. I've got a few on. I will mix the colours up, Scott. Where there's no other two wooden ones, is there? These white ones maybe, I could split them up a little bit. Speaking of emails, I sent you one to the email address on this channel. So the one on the channel will be Jonathan@ShadowFoam, and that goes to Matt, who's the video manager, who kind of like, purely because we have so much just junk inquiries coming through. So typically he kind of vets the inbox, and then I kind of I handle anything that's that has gone through that first filter. So there you go, Matt's in the comments as ShadowFoam, and he's come back to you there. We have received your email, yes. That tape measure looks awesome. So I'm not up to speed yet, gonna go for it, but I'm sure Matt will loop me in. It'll be in my inbox now for me to look at. So I'll get up to speed with that one later. But thank you if you've sent us or pictures or something of the set of a tape measure. Oh no, I think I might know this. I think that's the one that you might have forwarded me a picture of it, Matt, or it's the tape measure, or did we talk about it last stream? The tape measure with the little pad in it and the little notebook attached. Because it's ringing a bell. Tape measure, special tape measure in your name. Thanks. Please let Jona check my offer as well. Cool, right? Oh, there's an offer. I'll have a look in a bit. That's it. It's like we'll all be on the hunt now for quirky, interesting tools. I love it. The one you're doing now. Yeah, that one. I will split those two up, Scott. Let's see. So that one is the Stanley one. So that's actually from much more recently. So I'll flip that one out with that one. Hopefully you're happy there now, Scott. How are your lads, mate? Are they all right? They were in the stream last week. And it was nice to talk to you boys. I can't remember what they were saying now. We were asking them if you managed to paint your fence. And they said, no, but you've painted your front room, I think they said. Something like that. Mine was the tape measure with the built-in pencils. I tried to find a pic online, but couldn't find any, so mailed you some. Right, cool. Some kind of combination tools are fantastic, aren't they? But then some are real shockers. We've not long ago filmed a pretty interesting video about Temu tools. So any thoughts on Temu tools? It'd be interesting. I was more worried about the Temu app than the tools, if I'm honest. But after setting up like a good evening, Jona, how you doing, Ammo? After setting up an account that wasn't linked to me, like a separate account, so I wasn't at any risk, I ordered a whole host of Temu tools purely because some of them just look so weird. Hey up, Mark, how you doing? Thanks for coming along yesterday as well. I saw you were ready for the stream yesterday. That was the false start. Apologies for that. We had the timings wrong. We wanted to schedule the stream a bit more ahead of time and obviously set it up on the wrong day, but I think that's a lesson you learn once. We'll get that one, we'll get that one fixed. Looks really good. All nice and neat. I need to get some time and organise my tools now I've got the foam, absolutely. That's it. Get a brew and set yourself up in front of a movie or something, a series, and then just, I did cut a lot of foam back in the day on my coffee table. There was a very early stage of shadow foam where I was doing like commissions and cutting foam for people, and I used to just sit all night kind of cutting foam on the coffee table and trying to get the commission sorted. Eat. Good, thanks. Yeah, I'm good too. Been a bit of an unusual day today, been a bit of a tiring one. So Matt, who's I've mentioned a few times, who me and Matt do the videos together, he was off today. He's not very well, so a little bit of a curveball because the first two streams we've done together and made sure we're all technically up to speed and running. So this one, I'm here in the big old unit on my own. But it seems to be going smoothly so far. And Matt's in the comments, so he's still here. He's on moderation and kind of putting in links and chatting to you guys. Scott, they're upstairs arguing and fighting about rubbish. No, still not painted the fence. When I had the time, I didn't have the weather. That's how it always goes. But at least you've got the painter now. So you've got one piece of the puzzle lined up. The thing is, you've got a great excuse now for the next pretty much 4 months. You don't have to go near the fence because it's not going to be right now until coming into spring, and then you can do it as part of your kind of de-mildew in the garden, ready for summer. Everything goes green in England, doesn't it, over winter? Green and slimy. Everything needs a bit of a freshen up. Interesting that Zollstock means, and then I don't know if you were commenting on what I said, or I'll wait because you might tell me it means something else, which would be good. Always interested to learn. Feel better soon, Matt? Yeah. Hopefully he's going to be on the right side of it pretty quick. He's getting it sorted. There we go. I've done one. I've heard bad things on Temu. High levels of heavy metals that are harmful in a lot of their products on there. Well, I was just going for tools, me, so hopefully they're all made out of heavy metals. And I'm not ingesting any of them. But, oh yeah, it brings me back to Temu. So basically, I just kept seeing some really weird ads for some Temu tools, and at one point I bit the bullet, set up an account, and I think we've spent around about 600 quid on Temu, which in terms of Temu pricing, it ended up being about 2-3 grand's worth of tools, because everything on Temu, if you don't know the way they do it, it's all kind of like high urgency. Like, you got to buy it now, or it's 85% off, buy it now, or you're never going to get this deal ever again. So everything's a bit chaos on there. It gives you a headache looking at the app. There's all flashing things, and it's all a bit frantic, and it does my nutting. I didn't enjoy the experience of Temu, but I did it for the content, and I went through their kind of tool section, kept searching different words, and I bought what I would say is the weirdest tools on Temu. And there are some absolutely, I would say, totally unnecessary tools on there that no one needs and will ever need, but they're on there. And I bought them all to just check them all out, basically. And the other thing is, some of them arrived next day, which was like well surprising, and then some of them took weeks to arrive. So I think I bought them all months ago, and then the last ones only arrived a couple of weeks ago, and we now have them all, and we did a 2-part video, and that's coming in 2 weeks, I think, because it was a beast of a video. It's still being edited at the minute, so I think that'll be out just the first 2 weeks of December, I'm pretty sure. Steamman Norfolk says, Zoll means inch, strange that Germany used metric. Yeah, we were talking about earlier. So Zollstock, or Zollstock, means inch stick, and then most of these are all in metric. You're right, temp is pressure sales. Temu is pressure sales, yeah. Oh, and the problem is, as soon as you put in your email or phone number or anything, they crazy spamming you. My mobile, I put in my mobile number because I had to do 2-factor authentication or whatever it was. Some reason I had to put in my number, and they just kept texting me like all the time, and it's relentless. It puts you off them because some of the things I've had are pretty good. You'll see in the video that there was a couple of tools which were banging. Really good, solid tools, really good price. And a lot of it is just like totally unnecessary marketing noise, all just with the app, and then the emails and stuff. Ugh. But aside from that, they had a few good bits. And the good thing is you won't have to waste your time on the app because I think I've got 5 really cool tools. Can I show you one? Let me show you one. Seeing you're on the stream, and there's how many are on? 63 watching, so you can all see maybe 1 or 2 of the cool tools that I got. I'll certainly show you one of my favorites. So this is, it wasn't the top 1, but it was in the top 5. And looks quite normal, doesn't it? This is a kind of 460mm level. But here you go. It extends. So obviously when I was on the Temu app, I was thinking, why is that needed? Why is that needed in the world? And I was assuming it was going to be all rickety and clankety, and obviously if a level's anything less than solid, it's not going to be level, is it? But this thing just is so surprising how smooth it is, and how just like no wiggle room in it is. So if you're making a compact toolkit and you want a level in there that's like 600mm long, which is a pretty good length for like a kitchen cupboard, or if you're doing kitchen fitting, you need something a bit longer. So that is one of my favourite ones. Let me know what you think of that. If you want to know the price, I'll have to go in the app and try and dig out the price for you, but I'll wait to see the comments come through. We're on a delay, like I say, so be a minute and a half before I get to see what you think of it. That board is too white. Oh, with the colours of the Zollstocks. Mark says, I love the Cologne Zollstock, that's my hometown. Nice seeing your collection, so many good brands. I bought that from Cologne, from the Cologne Bauhaus, and nearly missed our flight from the Cologne Bauhaus. We only just made the airport. We went to the Eisenwaren Messe, which if you're from Cologne, you'll know what that is. And we were there for 2 days, and we did the Eisenwaren Messe, and we also went and looked at some tool shops as well. Here we've got some comments coming on the level. You still going to Northern Power Show? If you are, got a vintage Zollstock Velux brand. I'm not sure actually. Matt, let me know if we've got that one on the calendar, because it doesn't ring a bell that we're going to it. We are going to the Harrogate show, the Harrogate Woodworking show next week. Vintage Velux one sounds cool though. That board is too white. I've read that one. I did, put me off, deleted the app. Yeah, Temu app, it is. Like I say, there's some good stuff on there, so it might be, I think you've just got to be clever with it. You almost got to know what it is going in, and you've got to use an email you're prepared to bin off, or like I have a spam email, most people do nowadays, don't they? You use your spam email, or you know, don't put your mobile in it, also avoid that. How level is it though? Pretty good, yeah, we kind of looked at it in the video, tested it up against another level. The main thing is, it's not rickety, so whatever it's reading, it's not changeable, like it's not like rickety around, and obviously it's level, but it was. Really enjoy your vids, great work. Oh, I'm really pleased. Another fellow tool head then. We got a couple of cheap heated jackets from Temu. I like it. Heated jackets at this time of year are crazy prices sometimes. I've got a heated jacket, a Bosch one, and I was only telling someone the other day about it. I was like, oh, I've got this Bosch one and it's really good, and it was like 130 quid. Went on Amazon, it's like 200 now. I think all the prices go up when it's the cold starts coming in. Nice trick on the level, yeah. I've been using AliExpress for years, so I don't mind Temu at all. It's much better than Ali nowadays. Just depends what you're looking for, doesn't it? Because I think Ali has a much broader range of stuff. Tends to have branded stuff on there as well, but then obviously branded counterfeit stuff, it always seems, because when I'm sourcing tools or sourcing things, and not always, I'm not saying it always is, I bought some Makita tools off there and they did seem genuine, but then some other things I've bought off there, they've arrived and I've been like, and also some of it just doesn't make sense. You know, I was looking at some toolboxes in there that were quite hard to find, and it was saying they're shipped from China, but they're made in Israel, and they're like a German brand or whatever it was. I was looking at it and I was thinking, yeah, there's no way that's real. You know, there's no way that this listing can be half the price of the official one coming from China. But we pay £13 each for a heated jacket, pretty amazing. If they're actually keeping you warm as well, and they're like safety marked, because obviously if you're putting your body in a heated jacket, you want to make sure you're happy with the safety of it, don't you? I've googled Northern, oh right, Matty said, I've googled Northern Power Show and Google says it was in July. Maybe next one then. We do discover shows all the time, and sometimes we've discovered them a little bit too late, so we do add them to like a bit of a calendar for next year, and if we can make one. But obviously we want to do different shows, mix it up every year really. Eisenhower Messe was a nightmare with the union strikes at the same time. Had my flight to Munich cancelled and had to drive. I wasn't aware of the union strikes, to be fair. We booked it quite relatively last minute. And I mean, anything like that, any show you go to, hotel prices are inflated, and you know, it's harder to get tickets and stuff. It was hard to navigate there, but I would say it was very, very worth it. It was an amazing show. It was baffling how big of a show it was, actually. Really, really crazy. When we call it Europe's biggest tool show, it is no joke. It's like Europe's biggest tool show by a stretch. You know, it's not a small margin, it is insanely big. Yeah, sorry, woodworking show. It picked up power from last year. Yeah, woodworking show, yeah, we'll be there. Harrogate show. Basically, the only variable at the moment is Matt, who is currently unwell. He's my cameraman, video manager. If he's still not feeling up to it on Friday, we probably would give it a miss. I do film all of the videos abroad on my own. I just do them with a DJI camera. So actually, I'd say it's still 50-50 that I might just pop along and do the show myself with the Osmo. But what I'd say to do is, if you make sure you're following us on Instagram on shadow_foam, we usually, whenever we're going to a tool show or doing anything out and about, we'll share it on Insta. So it's just shadow_foam, and you can kind of keep up to speed. So I've currently cut in 18 Zollstocks, and I'm going to change, for the first time, I'm changing the scalpel blade. I can just feel it's getting blunt now, a bit too blunt for me to feel comfortable with. Jerome says Zollstock is inch ruler. Early measurements in the Netherlands were called duim, or thumb. 1 duim is 1 inch. See, a Zollstock in the Netherlands is called a thumbstick. Cool, I like it. I don't think I'm pronouncing duim correctly, but makes sense, doesn't it? I think that's where they got a lot of the old measurements. The old Imperials are based around bodies, aren't they? Like a yard or whatever it used to be, like a foot. You know, a foot's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? And 1 inch is a thumb. There's a great skit around the American use of the Imperial system. It is baffling, really, that when they set up metric, everyone wasn't like, that's better. I know the whole world switched, but aviation across the whole world is still an Imperial. It's the only, because obviously America are famously Imperial, and they call it standard as well, which makes it even harder. As soon as you say standard, you think everything other than Imperial, don't you? You're like, because Imperial's not standard. That's out of the ordinary nowadays. But no, Americans call it standard. And from this skit and a few skits I've seen, I think quite a lot of Americans I've spoke to, or certainly seen, not as much spoke to, but seen, would prefer to be working in would be prefer to be working in metric and even Celsius and Fahrenheit. Celsius is much more of a logical measurement system than Fahrenheit. But yeah, what I've got to loop back to what I was talking about then. Lost my train of thought. Back to cutting in Zollstocks here. It was a comment that made me think about it, so it'll come back to me. But Harrogate show should be a good one. It's very different to all the other shows that we go to, in that it's smaller than the big old kind of tool fairs, but it's a different vibe entirely. It's still got some of the big brands there. It's got Festool there, which isn't quite a lot of them, and it's got lumberjack tools, which aren't at the tool fairs, and it's got some big woodworking kind of brands. But it's also got like some like jumble sale element to it. You've got quite a lot of booths that are just like vegetable crates full of tools with, like, you know, a £5 on all of these items or £1 on all of these items, and you don't typically get that at normal tool shows. I would like to do feels a bit more like an auto jumble, which we've not done a video on. The Trend CNC demo, yeah, Trend are there, and they have toolboxes and stuff. So there'll be a lot to see, a lot to talk about. Whether or not we just do a tool hunt or we put together some toolkit or something, we haven't really fully decided yet. What time are we on? 7:15. Eisenhower and Messer is every 2 years, so 2026. The next big show like that we go to will probably be. I was very close to going to the SEMA show in America, which was last week, which is a big old kind of auto show, but with a big tool element in it in Las Vegas. So a show in America would be good, or the Canton Fair, or one of the similar kind of Chinese tool fairs, which again I was very close to going this year, but just the way that the year panned out, it's easy to go to a European show because I can be there and back in a day sometimes, and it slots into the diary quite easily, whereas with the China fair or the Las Vegas one, you've kind of got a budget 3-4 days, ideally a week. Neil, how are you doing, mate? I saw you were here last night for the false start as well. I think we won't do that one again. We're trying to schedule ahead of time, but I think we'll have to double check all of our next ones. I saw there's a couple of people waiting, so we will make sure to be bang on time tonight, though. And in terms of what you've missed, we've cut this one. So we've got 16 Zollstocks all organised. We just used a bit of tape on the sides to get a nice grid. Still got to do some finger pulls, but I'm going to figure that out at the end. And basically these are the early ones that we got. Got 3 drawers to do basically. The collection's always growing, so we'll I'm just doing a couple of drawers in that big JCB toolbox. Jerome says, oh, €100 toolkit. Yeah, that's the thinking for Harrogate show, is do a budget toolkit. When we do like when I do a hunt looking for weird, unusual tools that I've not seen before, as you might expect, you don't always find. I say that. So far, I've found quirky tools every single time and every single video. But that being said, I do go to some shops and I'll just literally walk in, wander around, you know, always quite happy to look around the tool shop, but, you know, there are shops that there's nothing to talk about. I don't really want to just pick up standard screwdrivers and spanners and, you know. So with the Harrogate show, it'll be kind of, we might just see how it goes on the day, really. If we kind of find some interesting brands there and some interesting stuff, it could just be a similar video, like, let's look for some weird stuff. But if we're struggling, or if we get the feeling, because we usually get in early and we'll have a walk around, if we get the feeling that we might not have enough quirky, interesting tools to talk about, because it's not as much that style of show, we would then do a toolkit challenge, like 100 toolkits, $100 toolkit. I love this kind of saxophone house music. I don't know if you can hear it much on the stream. Turn it up a bit. We'll see how it goes. Let me know if it gets too loud. I've still not worked out putting the music through the stream, so I've got it coming out of a speaker, but TBR says, gutted, stuck up at work in Scotland. Would love to go to the Harrogate Tool Fair. The £100 toolkit challenge would be awesome. I do like that. I feel like you can get a real sense of the show if we're looking at all sorts of tools and not just interesting, unusual tools. So I do feel like that would be quite good. And also, if we do it with like £100 cash, you can then try and like barter a toolkit, you know, kind of knock people down a bit. And that's why I love the toolkit. That's why I love the car boot one, because there's a bit of haggling going on and a bit of, you know, oh, I'll bundle in this and I'll get this, and what could you do if I buy all 3 of these? And typically, because we're making content and I'm buying from small independent vendors, I don't actually want to knock them down. I just want to pay them. They're already charging fair prices, but for the video and for the challenge, I want to try and make the budget stretch. So it's a bit of a catch-22 really. Naturally, if I was just buying tools for myself and it was like, you know, before I was making videos about it, I love haggling. I'd be there, I'd be arguing over a 20p because it's part of the charm of a car boot sale, isn't it? It's part of the charm of a jumble. Maybe not 20p, but I'd definitely be putting an offer in and getting the best deal I can. But then with the videos, I don't want them to be thinking, oh, look at it, who's this guy here? This YouTube fella's turned up and he's, you know, knocked all of the profit out of it for me. And a lot of them don't know, no one knows we're going. Put a PS5 in foam. Maybe. We've done a PS1, a PS2 and a PSP and a PS Classic in foam. And then we stopped there. I wouldn't mind doing a PS5 in foam, but I don't think it'd do very well on the Shadow Foam channel. That might have to be on if we do a tech channel. Maybe do like a PS5 traveling kit or something. What would be your thought on how would you do a PS5 in foam, Freddie? Scott, I forgot about the Harrogate show and taking a night shift Thursday. Luckily I hadn't bought tickets. Well, that's good. What do you do then, Scott? I worked night shifts for a long time, and to be honest, it suited me down to the ground. It worked for me so well, night shifts. It doesn't work for the family as well, but from a personal point of view, I'm not really a morning person. I'm much more efficient in the evenings and the night. Quite a bit of a night owl. So I'd stay up doing the night shift. I'd be full of energy, come home and sleep for like 4 or 5 hours, and then I'd feel like I'd had a full day. I was getting like bonus days. Worked really well in the early days of Shadow Foam because I worked a full-time job and then ran Shadow Foam, and I did a mixture of standard 5-day week night shifts and then did continental shifts, which is 4 on 4 off. Security. That's something I think I'd do. Everywhere I've worked in factories, I've always had a security booth and someone on security, and I've always fancied it. I've always saw them in the booth. This might not be you, Scott, so I might be painting the wrong picture, but they're kind of like, the security booth would always be like a guy, and he's kind of set it up like his own little home. He's got his screens and everything, but behind him he's got a kettle and a toaster and a little fridge, and he'd have a movie going on the iPad or something, and every hour he'd have to go and do a loop around the building. And sweet gig. Sweet gig. I always used to think, you know, do a lot of planning. For me, I'd be building a business every night. I'd be right doing this and doing that and getting everything going, doing all my admin. It can be chilled. Well, I suppose it's a mixed bag, innit? I suppose when it rains, it's storms, or whatever the expression is. And I suppose it's where you're doing security as well. If you're on a door, maybe not as fun. And I suppose it's who your boss is. Stop giving my shift details away. I got you clocked then, have I? Love it. I mean, who wouldn't do that? I mean, at the end of the day, the thing about a security guy, and the same thing with an engineer, you're better off having one and not needing them. That's the whole point, isn't it? And sometimes you get middle managers who don't understand this, and they're kind of like, oh, you've got to be busy, you've got to be busy. And it's like, it's a big enough firm that they have to have security, but you're hoping to never need a security guy. The whole point is that you're there in case. The only trick is that you're always ready to spring into action, isn't it? Like with the engineers, like my job was fixing machinery in factories, and if all of the planned maintenance was done and all the machines were working, some production managers would always be like, right, I'd prefer you in the workshop because I know everything's running. As soon as you're out and about with your tools, it means something's broken, which is not good news for anyone. But then other managers would be up in arms about it, that there's not any work getting done. Where can I buy shadow foam? Always shadowfoam.com, professional homeowner. So we've got international shipping, economy and express options. So wherever you are in the world, go to shadowfoam.com. It's where we have the best prices. So on all the other marketplaces, it's a little bit more expensive and they don't have the offers that we have. So our website has got the bulk offers. So if you buy multiples of any certain insert or any foam, there's a better price. And also we have the free cutting kits and the free pro cutting kits. Music's getting a little bit banging there, isn't it? For me anyway. Have a band, buy a box. Have a band, buy a... Tilk says, have a band, buy a toolbox they like and have their mics or guitar. Ah, right. You have a band. Yeah, we see a lot of people putting sound equipment in foam because it's super expensive, isn't it? And typically you'll have like flight cases and things where, flight cases and toolboxes, until you put some sort of organizer in them, they're just a bucket. They're just a really expensive plastic bucket that's waterproof. So you need some sort of organising system, and that's where shadow foam comes into its own, really. Mark Easman has got a Bosch heated jacket, and it's really nice. Yeah, all of our production guys have got Bosch heated jackets because I got one and just felt good quality. It runs, and we're in too big of a unit to be able to heat the unit itself. And in winter, it can get really cold in metal units in England. So all of our guys have a heated jacket, and I've not had one break yet. No one's come to me saying that they're broken, and they're all happy with them. And to be fair, the batteries, I didn't buy any Bosch batteries because at the time they were quite expensive, like £40–50 a battery. I just bought all aftermarket batteries, like £12 to £15 each, and none of those have gone down either. So I do rate the Bosch 12-volt stuff. Will concrete bolts hold up a gate better than roll bolts? That's a fun question. I like that sort of question. Taking me out of the tools and foam thing. Would concrete bolts? Well, to be honest, it depends what you call. I would call a concrete bolt a roll bolt. I would call the two the same thing. It's all about the bolt size, isn't it? If it's M10 or if it's M12 or if it's a 20mm bolt. So it's very much dependent on the depth of your concrete slab and the length of the floor bolts, the size of the thread, and I think the best ones you can get now, the best ones I've ever used, I don't know the name of them, but you'd be able to quickly find out, is where you use a little, you have a resin insert, and you have a standard concrete bolt, but it doesn't have a plug. It has a little resin glass vial. You put that down the hole, and then you whack the thread down it, and then you screw the bolt in, but then the resin sets hard, and it's like one of the strongest fixings you can get. Don't know what they're called, but if you search resin ground bolt, resin floor bolt, something like that, I think that'd be one of the strongest ones. Keep those random questions coming though. Always fun to just go off on a tangent. The roll bolts fell apart when I beat them in. It's tricky, isn't it? Because when you work in factories, you have to use kind of what's there. So you end up using all sorts of bolts. Some machines get delivered with a pack of floor bolts, and then they'll go in a drawer, and then you're using them, and you get the studs, then you have like, inches of stud poking out the ground, and that's annoying. And then some, you whack them all the way into the ground and then you just can't get them tight, and then it can be a bit of a mixed bag really. If I go and buy some, you kind of know what you're dealing with and you'll drill the holes to the right length and you'll get the right ones. But we have a security of sorts. TBR says, we have a security of sorts, work on a secure site in Scotland, no phones allowed, and the guys stood on the jetty when it's raining sideways. Makes me feel bad for them. A secure site in Scotland, no phones allowed. Wonder if that's nuclear then. Secure site, Scotland. I wonder if it's military. Maybe you can give us a clue. Probably can't really say if it's secure like that, but I'd maybe think a military base or possibly a nuclear site. And I would feel bad for someone who's on a jetty when it's raining sideways as well. Being in the nice warm security booth with the kettle and the pot noodle supply is where you want to be, in it. Would a tool wall in a van travel well? Got too many tools? Depends how fast you drive over speed bumps, really. Griller. Cool emoji. I think a van racking system is better, and something I love, and we've not done a video on it yet, but it's on the list, and as soon as I find the best opportunity, I will. That's these van vault drawers, or the armor guard drawers, because I feel like you can get a really nice, efficient layout going then. You can have all your tools in a tool wall, but horizontal. It locks away in a steel container, and you've still got a base, you know, you've still got like a flat, you've still got a flat area to work with. Craig Harp says, got my order last week, cut 3 sheets to hold my spanners, screwdrivers, etc., and well chuffed. Sitting like a geek doing another sheet tonight for my sockets. Amazing. Sockets, oh well, you've done it in the right order. I think that's perfect order, that is. You started with your spanners and your screwdrivers, build up your confidence and kind of get to grips with it. And then sockets they're easy, but they're annoying because obviously there's lots of circles and it can get a little bit frustrating sometimes. Tip for sockets, if you don't want them on rails, I love sockets on rails just because it's easier to get them out when you're using them. I don't think I've got any drawers here with sockets on rails, to be fair. But you can get socket rails, and if you're not putting your sockets on rails, the other thing is use tape. Grid out your foam, so I'll use a strip of masking tape, put a line, and then use that for my socket runs. And then the only other one is, I also don't necessarily use the sockets themselves to cut round. I'll use one of our stencil guides. These are like a tenner, and we have 3 in a pack, 3 different sizes. And you can probably just see, just all different circles, tenner for a pack. And it's like every hole from 10mm up to 50mm. And you can just use that. It's a little bit easier than cutting the sockets themselves. So there are my 3 tips for sockets. Griller, resin with length of threaded bar. Make any size you want. I don't think that's how the bolt manufacturers say it. They're very precise. I think the thing with these bolts is if you bolt machines down, you have to be very particular with the hole size you drill in and the depth of the hole and all that. Got my last week, yeah, I read that one. I got my heated jacket. I got my heated jacket as a promo gift from Bosch. Oh, that's a hell of a promo deal. Hell of a promo gift. They call it Pro Deals. It's a gift when you buy a tool of a certain price range. Nice. Betty swims to work. Scuba suit. Silky, you should make a collab with some local band or educator. Show them your secret place for toolboxes and have them pick one they fancy and turn it into storage for other equipment. What if they pick my favourite, Tilka? It sounds like I'm opening up a big risk there. We do stuff like that. I can't say we do that. The problem with the toolbox collection is, and I can show you actually, just so everyone's up to speed. I've got to go under there to turn the light on. I have to have every toolbox on the market. I say we have to have every toolbox on the market so we can map them out for inserts. And then if anyone has any problems with their inserts, they can kind of come back to us, and we've got the physical box here to do a test. And which way are we going? Is that the way? Nope, going the wrong way again. It's that way. Let's go on the big one. There you go. So I'll move the camera. Just back here behind the set, there's a big room full of toolboxes. We are going to do a toolbox collection tour very soon, to be fair. That's probably going to be in the next couple of weeks on the Shadowphone Plus channel. So Matt will put a link to that in the description. It's our new second channel where we'll be doing some shorter videos on different subjects. So we have to have every toolbox on the market for the inserts. I'll bring this back into frame. I haven't even touched the darts yet. Let's do a little bit of darts. I've cut a lot of foam. I've cut over half at least. You should make a cut, yeah. Sockets are annoying. Yes, they are, absolutely, Scott. I'd never, when I'm doing a video and there's loads of sockets, it is a bit of a nightmare. I don't look forward to that. Neil says, I've cut out 3 foams for 3 small tool bags. I've got drill for one, drill bits for another, and electrical test tools for the last one. Work to do. Smashing. Good. Sounds decent though. 3 foams for a small tool bag as well. It's always interesting setting up a tool bag. It's a bit of a different dynamic, isn't it? Made 2 drawers out of ply under a 1200mm deck. It holds 2 TS2 boxes at the moment. It keeps nice and clean. Yeah, sounds good. That's T-Stack 2 boxes you're on right there, isn't it? With a bit of ply over it. Nice. I was on about Scotland. Yeah, swimming to work. Yeah, I got that on the jetty. That's super secret location if you've got swim to work. That's like Dr. Evil's Island or something. Right, so we're on the darts. And I'm on the dart screen. Nope, boosh. So I'll start a new game off. See, this is the 3 camera setup here. There's 3 cameras looking at the dartboard, and it does all of the. Oh no, it's not doing online game. Local game. Leave game. Leave board. Local game. That's the board. Oh. We'll just carry on. We're both on 483. Jonathan Catchpole. Hey Jona, just had my 50th birthday yesterday. Got a few new hand tools. Already got a new DeWalt T-Stack deep drawer and some 50mm shadow foam to organise them. Awesome. I've just bought the DeWalt T-Stack deep drawer. It was on offer at B&Q, and I saw someone post it on the DeWalt group, and I went down and got one because I had the Stanley Pro Stack version, and because they're the same, they're just rebadged. But I thought I'd get the DeWalt T-Stack. Nice, tidy, solid box, lots of space in it. And yeah, we do inserts for the DeWalt T-Stack drawers. You can get some and get them all organised, whatever you've got. Let me know what new hand tools did you get? Still waiting for an XL box insert. XL box? Oh yeah. I'll have to have a look. We have got quite a lot of the Sortimo boxes mapped out already, but the problem with the Sortimo is they have so many little mad boxes with really big profiles on them, which you know we might have looked at online and thought we couldn't really have an insert for it. This is the camera I'm supposed to be looking at. The problem is I've not got the cameras in front of me here. Haha, Mark, I only have to swim because of horrendous weather. Yeah, right. Let's play some darts. I'll turn this as well so you can see. There you go. That's about right. Right, I'm gonna try and get some triple 20s here now. As long as they're in the right zone, I can deal with that. Anyone play darts? Oh, as soon as I start talking, I threw it up the wall. Anyone play darts in the chat? I was watching darts, and that is where I got mine to B&Q. Yeah, it was a good deal, wasn't it? 30 quid for a T-Stack drawer. It was pretty good value, I thought. Follow my neck. I'll catch up, don't worry. I've just sacrificed a Kita power toolbox to make a dolly base and work surface. Worth it though. It's all in the name of progress. In the past I played. Good. I had a dartboard in my room as a kid. And didn't appreciate it enough, clearly. I think didn't play enough. And then recently, last couple of years, I've been watching more and more darts. And then I've got this dartboard to put in my house. Try, but when they leave, my hand goes south. Leave my hand go. To be fair, I enjoy it. I'm not particularly good at it, but I do try. I'm talking now. I need to like, if I'm just playing darts, I feel like I'm better at it than on stream. But that's the easy excuse, isn't it? Gotta concentrate and get a few bags, more like soft shell type cases. Yeah, we've done a lot of soft shell cases are kind of ideal for foam, aren't they? We've done I did a series on the channel where I took a load of soft shell cases from Amazon and turned them into toolkits with a foam insert. And the good thing is they're quite, typically, depending on which ones you've got, you can get them for quite a good price. You know, I think I was getting GoPro soft shell cases for like 12 quid, putting a piece of foam in them and then turning them into whatever I needed. So is it a key to stack and roll system you've got, isn't it, Scott? We haven't done a video on that one yet, but we have got a plan to do a video on the key to stack and roll. I've got the full key to stack and roll box here. And the video that we're going to do is the fact that they have key to stack and roll in Europe, and it's called the Works Stack and Roll, W-O-R-X. Same box but with orange latches, and it's Works. And in America they sell it at Walmart and it's called the Heart Connect. And it's the same box but blue latches. So that's going to be on the Shadow Foam Plus channel. Just basically informing the world, really, that, you know, if somebody's searching for a box and they're like, oh, I saw the Work Stack and Roll in France and I really want one, but I can't buy it in the UK. Well, it's the same as the key to stack and roll, and the inserts fit, and obviously we do inserts for all three, and if you've got one, it'll all connect and whatnot. You got a speed square and a positioning square clamp. No excuses for unsquare carpentry projects. Absolutely. Speed square, great start. Got to have one of those in your kit early doors. I'm not sure what the other thing is. And a positioning square clamp. I'll probably know it if I saw it. Oh, lost one. That was going straight in the triple 20, that was. What is the distance from the board in darts? I don't know what it is in darts, but in meters, I think it's 2.34. I did measure it out from Google and put a line down. In darts, probably about 20. Oh, that'll do. Oh, what's going on? That was in the triple 20 and all. Might change the darts. I've got 3 others there. Right, what are we on? 266. I need to catch up to this bar. Not going to do it like that. What's better? It's from 40 odd. Have you seen that Sortimo is working on a more rigid toolbox system, similar to the other brands, but still compatible to the classic system? Yes. One of the reasons for going to Eisen Warren Messer in Cologne, let's not say one of the reasons. What I'll say is one of the benefits of going there was that we were able to go to the launch presentation of the L-Box contractor system, which is the new name for it. And they had a 3D printed model of it there. And it was really, really good, had some really good features. And it's basically taking the L-Box system, which is quite a, you know, simple toolbox system really, thin plastic. It's not really a contender for the ABS boxes and the polycarbonate boxes, whatever, that are out now. But the L-Box contractors to kind of bring L-Box up to that kind of same heavy duty professional toolbox grade. And it looks really decent. Yeah, still works with the original L-Boxes. It's got aluminium kind of profiles on the corners. Perhaps you should do another slot cart instead of darts. I'm gonna keep. I don't play any darts off stream. You know, the last few weeks have been that busy. I usually would. When I had this in my house, I was playing darts every night. I moved it down here and I've not touched it until the stream. Yeah, and the L-Box contractor, we are going to do a video on that too. all in the pipeline. I met some of the senior team from L-Box, and they said to me that they would, right, I'm on a double now, I'm on a finish. They said that they would send the box out to me. One of them was, the bottom one. The bottom one. Back to cutting. Do what I'm good at. Jona, do you wear glasses? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I should. No, I don't wear glasses currently, no. Yes, that's it, and it looks really, really good. It does. The contractor box does look good. So they had one that was like a crossover. Not quite the L-Box, not quite the L-Box contractor, and it's like a beefier L-Box. And that was supposed to be launched in June this year. And they said they'd send me one, and then they've gone a little bit cold. But they're super friendly, and I did send them some inserts, which they loved. So we're still in contact with them, but maybe they pushed it all back. But they're aiming for it to be out 2025. And like I say, as soon as it does, we'll do a video on it and make some inserts for it. But they did have some interesting features. One of the most interesting ones was they have, if you've ever worked with Sortimo or Bosch, they're 50-50% owners. BS Systems and Bosch half and half own Sortimo. And obviously Sortimo make all the boxes for Bosch. And Bosch also own, or BS Systems also owns ProClick, which is like a system, you have a belt and then you can clip all accessories on it. It's called ProClick. And that already exists, already sold, and it's really good. And the Bosch L-Box contractor, all of the rails and all the aluminium corner profiles have got the ProClick slots on. So it looks very similar to the Tough Built, but it is compatible with the old L-Boxes and with the ProClick system. So they'd probably be the most, they'd probably be the brand that's thinking most about backwards compatibility, if you know what I mean. A lot of these brands are kind of like release a new system and they're like, right, nothing else matters. This is what it's all about. Whereas L-Box are kind of like saying, you know, the old system was still great. This is just an improvement. It all still works together. Sorry, you couldn't resist. Hey, look, comedic timing. You had it nailed. It was good. Keep them coming. I would keep playing the darts a little bit because it just means I can stand up, and at the end of the day, if I was cutting foam on my coffee table watching a movie, I would stand up every hour or so and go and do something else, stretch my legs, stretch my back. So I thought that's what the darts was all about, really, just rather than me wandering off. Just get on the darts for a minute. And Mark says, and also some sort of shell for the older boxes is also planned. Yeah, that was really cool. It's basically like a shelf system, it was like a box with like 3 shelves on it. They had a name for it. It might come back to my mind, but they showed that as well. And it's like the three classic L boxes go in it like a shelf, and then that is got the profiles on it. So that was pretty cool. I forgot about the ProClick system. That's the one of the coolest features. Yeah, I would say so, because rather than inventing a toolbox and then inventing a new belt system and a new latching system, and they're using one that's already proven and really good, and obviously they own it, so they were able to integrate the two together, and that feels a little bit more like you're getting the best of 2 worlds, rather than when it's a new kid or a new brand and everything's already been patented. So it's always like these new brands now, they almost have to find a way to attach things, but they can't use 2 clips, they can't use a metal latch, they can't use a spring clip, they can't use a double pin thingy, because they've already all been patented. So they're like, right, okay, can we attach it with blue tack? You know, can we use a plastic grommet attached off elastic band? And then that's why you end up with some of these maddest attachment systems, because everything else logical has been patented. So they have to use something a bit outside of the mandate. That's why you get these utility knives with crazy ways of putting the blade in. And it's because everything else has been patented. So they're like, right, you press this pin in and fold that metal back, and then the blade comes out, and it still says patent pending on it. And you just think it's bonkers, really. That's why I like Tesla. Tesla are incredible. They're doing amazing things with technology, and they share all of the patents, don't they? Share all the technology, because it's just it's backwards for the world if Elon Musk comes out and creates something that's gonna, you know, a better battery or a better charging method, and then he goes, oh no, only Teslas can use it. But no, he just says, you know, he wants the whole market to rise, the whole market to go up. So I'm a big fan of that. Always makes me think about, I remember when I think it was my second ever car was a Ford Focus. It was a 5.3 Ford Focus Z-Tech. And the best thing about it, my favourite feature of all time was the electric windscreen. Could not believe that an electric windscreen was a thing in that old of a car. And it was always just baffling to me that why doesn't every car have this? This is a no-brainer. It's safer, it's more efficient, it's a no-brainer. Every car should have it, but the way that it was patented meant that nobody could, and it feels like a backwards way the world works sometimes. Makes sense, obviously. They have 10 years patent, and a lot of smaller companies would never be able to exist if they couldn't create a patent, but just certain things that go mass market, or maybe if it's an adaptation of something in a common thing like a car. Maybe if it's linked to safety, that's where the boys are watching. Hello Tom, Thomas and Jacob, how are you doing guys? We've done, we're nearly up to 32, so we're on 29 Zollstocks organised. A lot of foam cutting, but keeps it all nice and neat, all nice and organised, keeps them all in order, and I can keep the collection going, knowing that none of the existing ones are going missing. That is the problem with this collection. Sometimes I'll have to get one out for a clip for a video, reference it in a video, and then I'm paranoid that I'm looking at the collection, I've got no frame of reference to know are they all there. So by putting them in foam, I know at this point I've got them all, and then if there's a spot opens up, I'll know that one's gone missing, so it will help me keep tabs on it all for sure. I won't know which one's gone missing, but then for that I'll have a photo. I had a Ford Escort RS 2000 that had a front heated screen. Still can't believe one I sold when I sold it. And two, why wouldn't all cars have a front heated screen? Exactly, right, I've read that wrong, but you said still can't believe one, that you sold it, and two, why wouldn't all cars have it? Exactly. It's bonkers, isn't it? Front heated windscreen should be mandatory in countries that get snow and frost, heavy frost. Have you done inserts for the Milwaukee rolling tool chest or the DeWalt version like the Mantras? The rolling, so that is the big old coffin box, some people call it. That is on the list, and it's really high up the list. I think we've just finished doing the full Kubrick range, which also means we've finished doing the Ox Tool Trek range, because that's the same. And we've just finished doing the Trend, which is also the same. So we kind of do things in stages. With the Kubrick done, we'll move on to, can't remember what's next on the list after Kubrick, but there's another, I can't remember what's on the list. We have a list basically of all the boxes that need inserts, and we've done, obviously if you go on shadowfoam.com you'll see the brand and the inserts that we have, and we've pretty much got everything on there. There's just a couple that sneak through. The big Milwaukee rolling toolbox and the DeWalt rolling box are on the list, and I think they might even be next, but if they're not next, they'll be pretty soon. What is a Zollstock? Great question. Zollstock is German for inch stick, and that's what Germans call, and we learned this evening that in Denmark they call them a thumbstick, but I can't remember what the Danish word was, but it's a thumbstick essentially. And basically it's a folding 2-meter ruler. So they twist like this, and it's a 2-meter ruler, really popular in Europe, particularly in Germany. And all of the major brands have one. And I started collecting them about a year ago, and then every time I'd see one with a tool brand on it, like, here's a good one, Milwaukee, I'll buy it and add it to the collection because it's really, they're nice quality, they're quite a low cost tool, and they're quite a practical tool, and they have a nice big logo on from all the tool brands, so they're like a personal, and in Europe they are quite commonly collected as well. So I'm starting my own trend off here in the UK. And we have a shadow foam one as well, which is our brand. Just on the patent thing, it's like the Zollstock safety tech and the DeWalt's on their router. Insane that something like that will save people's fingers and more is held back behind a patent. Yeah, great example with the Zollstock, because you know, table saws are, you know, widely known as one of the most dangerous workshop bits of equipment. Not just that they're dangerous, but also they're really common, aren't they? Table saws are also a really common piece of woodworking equipment. And, you know, it's like someone invented like this thing that, you know, I've invented a way that no one will ever get hurt on a Zollstock ever again, on a table saw ever again. As soon as a piece of skin touches the blade immediately stops, and they're allowed to have it as a patent. It's like somebody patented seatbelts, isn't it? And I'm sure that was the thing at some stage. It was seatbelt was patented, but someone they've either had to let the patent run out on airbags, or someone with a bit of sense said, look, I know you patented airbags, but we all need airbags. not just that, you know, the minis can have airbags. Come on now. Yeah, sorry, I've patented safety glasses. You're all gonna have to use your grinder with no safety glasses because I've patented them. Madness. Mad old world we live in, isn't it? Right, we're getting there now. We've done two. Look at that. I'll put these behind me because then you can still see them in shot. So with 16 Zollstocks organised. Pat's in. How are you doing, Pat? Matt's not here tonight. Matt's not very well. He texted in not very well today. So I've been holding down the fort on my own. Matt is here in the comments though. But I think he's fallen asleep. We've not seen him for a while. Hi there. Is there a giveaway? We have giveaways on nearly all videos now. I love it. When I'm thinking about a video, I'm thinking, what's the giveaway? Just because it's like, I've almost like got in the mindset of like getting 5 for the video. I really like it. I think the positivity around it is also makes me want to just keep doing it because it's a nice, like, low cost prize that, and with 5, it feels like more people are getting a chance at it. And we on average have like between 500 and 1,000 comments. So I think there's good odds of getting a prize, and the more videos that we do them in, and as long as we keep them loosely, you know, based around tools and just nice things that are just nice to have, and obviously keep the entry. All you've got to do is drop a comment to enter. So I think it's a bit of a win-win, really, because obviously YouTube want to see engagement on videos. I want to talk tools, and I read all the comments and get involved with the comments. And obviously there's a little side benefit that you might win something. And I think we've got a playlist of all of the different winners. If Matt's there, you can link it, but it's quite cool now because I think we've got about 15 prize draw videos that are on like a private playlist. You can see the playlist. If you go on playlist on the channel, you'll see it. But we take all of the giveaway segments out and put them in this playlist so you can go through and see all the winners. And just quite cool, I think, because that's the other thing with giveaways on the internet. Half the time you feel like you can't believe them. Matt's fallen asleep. Well, don't worry about it, Matt. You're all good. I'm holding down the fort here. But yeah, a lot of giveaways on the internet always feel like they can't really be trusted, or is it too good to be true almost? But I think with the simple 5 prize method we're going for, you know, it's sustainable. We can keep doing it. We're not promising to give away an RV every week. Which you just look at some of these competitions, you think, how is that sustainable? How are they doing this? You don't feel like it's got to be a scam just because of the prize is too good. And then also you think, well, where's the winners? How do we know the winners? So we have it just really simple way of entering, and then we have the videos on a separate playlist for seeing where the winners will get drawn. Jack says, yeah, with the lock, can find lots of power tools and stuff in. Oh, I missed a couple of comments. The Fat Max rolling box. Yeah, the Fat Max rolling box. I've seen that one too. That's the one with like It's like 2 sections that open, isn't it? Like something like that. Does that work with the T-stacks? No, not. It wouldn't be, if it's Stanley Fat Max, it wouldn't be T-stacks, it'd be Pro Stacks, wouldn't it? Stanley have the Pro Stacks. Matt, here you go. Here he is. He's put in there. Here's the giveaway winners playlist. So all of our giveaway draws are always within or like in a video. We have actually discussed about doing them in the live streams, to be fair. So you might next live stream or the one after, you might see us do a prize draw in the live. I think that might be quite cool. Craig Harper, would you consider setting up a Facebook group for newbies and experienced foamers when looking couldn't find anything? That is such a great idea, Craig. We have, but you will probably search Shadow Foam, and what you needed to search was Foam Nation. Matt will put a link, I think, if hopefully he's not falling back asleep again. We have a Facebook group called Foam Nation, and it's exactly that. It's literally all Shadow Foam customers get invited to that group in an email, and it's linked to our Facebook, and it's just a group to share photos, pictures of your projects, answer questions, talk to each other about, not just foam either. It's kind of like just all about talking tools, organising tools and stuff. So great little group. Foam Nation, that's called. Hope you get better soon, Matt. Oh, that's nice. That's a good one. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Pat. That message from Pat to Matt. Here's the link for Foam Nation. I bet that took a little bit of hunting down, that, didn't it, Matt, to try and get a Facebook link on the fly. Dun, 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 dun. Anyone got any questions about tools, or what's everyone do? Let's have a bit of a chat about that, because I've talked a lot about me being an electrician. Be interested to know what, not only what tools you've got, but what you're using them for. It's funny because there's about a 1.5 minute delay. I'll ask that, and then it feels like I'll move on to something else, and then the comments will come through. Definitely change to Foam Nation Shadow Foam. Easier for Luddites to find. Not a bad idea, Craig. We have had conversations about changing it to something different in the past, but I don't think we want. I think we didn't want to call it Shadow Foam because we felt like we wanted it to be a group that you could talk about other things that complement Shadow Foam, just generally organising tools and. And even just comparing, like, oh, I got this other foam, didn't work, or maybe did work, whatever. It's not too much about that, but it's just an open place that didn't exist. There wasn't a group there about getting tools, organising foam. So I think we chose Foam Nation for that reason, but like I do see what you're saying. Matt, can you make a note of that? We can discuss it in the next meeting. Video meeting, marketing meeting. Should we change the Facebook group to Foam Nation Shadow Foam? Maybe Shadow Foam Nation. Maybe now is the time. The Shadow Foam Nation. You work on the railway, only a DIYer, but I do love your tool vids. That's awesome. If you work in the railway, you'll know Crewe, but are you northern? Are you up north on the railway? A lot of railway stuff is all around Crewe, which is only half or an hour away from where I'm currently stood cutting foam. Apiary Farm, where do you start with putting tools in foam? I am forever reorganising my T-stack. I think I need you to come and help me. I would say it's all about just organising one bit, just one drawer or one box. The T-stack system is great. And obviously it's expandable, so you could maybe set up. The thing I like about the T-stack system is the drawers. We were just talking about the T-stack drawers, and that B&Q have got an offer on the deep drawer, and I picked one up myself, a £30 deep drawer. And they're quite, you can pick them up on deals quite regularly. And if you got maybe the 2-drawer and got a set of shadow foam inserts, which would be a twin pack, be $24.99, you could organise 2 drawers and just do like a nice little tool layout and it can make you be a little bit critical too sometimes and think, right, I don't want to double up, I don't want to waste space. And then when you've organised those drawers, it'll make your life easier knowing they're always there, you've always returned them, and then you just go from there really. Got a few comments that come in now. I'm a joiner and stone, so 64 Grill says, I'm a joiner and stonemason by trade, used to make my own chisels out of rebar, shaped to suit way back then. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I've seen that before, rebar, some rebar tools. It's amazing what you can do with rebar, isn't it? Because it's like relatively cheap. I've seen some people make some fences out of rebar, and they looked amazing. Even the twist in the rebar, it looked really expensive the way that it was set up. But it's underappreciated, isn't it, rebar? And then that's awesome. Gonna go for it. Says all my tools are streaming related, but I have a good one for you. Touch Portal. It'll turn your tablet into a stream deck on steroids on less than 15 quid. I'll write that down as well. I do like a bit of homework. What was it called? Touch Portal. I actually set up something similar. Wasn't that, but it was called, basically, when I was trying to figure out how to set up this streaming, I bought a set of Mevo cameras, and they have an app on the tablet to help move the camera angles and stuff, but I found it really clunky. I didn't like it at all, so I'm using Streamlabs with just standard like webcams, and then using the Stream Deck instead of an iPad. I would like to set up some more stream alerts and some overlays and maybe even like a soundboard. But the weeks are so busy, you know, the evening it does calm down a bit obviously, but during the week, the weekdays, there's so much to do. I hardly get a chance to think about making the improvements to the stream until, like what I do usually, like last week I knew I needed to move the camera and move this, that and the other, so I went on Amazon afterwards and bought the bits and bobs I needed, and then they were here, and then literally about 4 o'clock I came down and started making the tweaks. Bert says Preston based at the Mo, always through crew. Yeah, it's like the northern train hub, isn't it? We did a load of foam for Bombardier, and that was quite a nice little project because I was able to go to some of the train workshops. It's always fascinating to get a look inside something that, you know, if you don't work on the trains, if you're working on the trains, you probably wouldn't even bat an eyelid at the way that they have the trains parked up in the kind of warehouses where they do the work. But for me, totally, you know, newbie to it, walking in there, and this guy's just like, you know, this is the tool cabinets we want to get organised, and I'm like, wow, it's the way it's all set up. It's a while ago now, it's a few years ago now, so it's not even, I couldn't even tell you what it was that amazed me. Just the scope and the scale and the way it was set up to work on these trains, and it just seemed pretty awesome. And the fact that everything's on rails and then they, you know, literally reroute them down into the garage, into the pits almost. Apiary Farms, I'm a Spark, do all domestic, commercial and industrial. I think mostly my test kit needs putting in the deep to start with. Yeah, great. I think the deep box is a pretty versatile one because obviously pretty much every power tool, no power tools will go in the narrow ones. Test equipment's definitely a good place to start with because it's valuable, and you know, if that stuff goes missing, it's even more costly to replace. You don't want it bouncing around the drawer. And I've done some great little inserts with test equipment where you basically put the meter on the top, and then you lift it out, and then you can put all the leads underneath, so you can kind of multi-layer everything. And you know, I've put like a mega in the top, and then underneath I've had the crocodile clips and then the leads, and it looks nice, but it also is very practical. You know, sometimes having everything stuffed in a bag, it's hard to know you've got a crocodile clip missing until you go to get it, and you're like, where the heck's that gone? And at some point it's fallen out and disappeared down the road, and you wouldn't have known until you needed it. So if you have Streamlabs, you should switch to OBS. It'll import the scenes you have now, but you'll have a lot more plugins for free to make your stream look good. I actually started on OBS and I didn't get on with it. I ended up going to Streamlabs because I was struggling with OBS. It felt a bit more old-fashioned and it wasn't as intuitive to set up and connect everything. I tried 3 or 4 though. I was on StreamYard, Restream, then OBS, and then Streamlabs. And then I cancelled Streamlabs because it was annoying me because it wouldn't, I was having a bit of grief with it. I can't remember now what it was, but then I ended up cancelling it, saying, and went through customer service, and then I found my own answer to it and then went back to Streamlabs. Wow, is that Matt? Yeah, so Matt's at home, basically on the chat as Shadow Foam, so that's Matt. What's he said? I'm going to read his comment now. I made a documentary about the Severn Valley Railway, following the volunteers and staffs through their jobs. It was awesome to see everything that goes on behind the scenes. Yeah. And it's like any kind of different industry that's different to what you're working. It's just, I find it fascinating. I'm sure anyone does really. Just a look behind the curtain, something that's so much more complex. But yeah, Matt's done loads of cool stuff. He's, Matt, my cameraman, has got an MBE. That's something, you don't hear that every day, do you? He's a volunteer. I'm sure he won't mind me saying. He's volunteered for a long time for the People's Orchestra in Birmingham. He's a director on their board and manages all their content and videos, and trains up a lot of young ones and brings a lot of young ones into video editing and stuff. And it was through those voluntary services that he was awarded an MBE with, I think it was with another colleague of his on the team. Mark says, Bert, I live in Bridgeton North and have an interest in Severn Valley Railway. So that's where the comment came from. Catching up, right. So that's what I've driven from 17, so don't use the trains a huge amount. Actually, Matt doesn't drive and uses the trains an awful lot. So since having Matt working with me, I have taken a lot more trains because I see it as a much more viable option. And I would never usually even put in the details into Google to get a train time. When you drive, you just kind of like, second nature, you just drive everywhere. Matt was that video. Jona here making him blush. Well, there you go. Been correctly introduced now, Matt, haven't you, mate? Fair play, Matt. Is there something I can watch? The documentary. I'm from Worcester and have spent a bunch of time on the Severn Valley Rail as a kid. I'll let Matt. Matt is the magician with the links, so if there is, he'll find one for you, I'm sure. But if you look at the People's Orchestra up on YouTube, Matt, I think he's got a team. He's got some young ones doing some stuff with him and some other ones in his team. So Matt basically plans out all the shoots and makes sure that they capture the shows. And then I know he organises and I know he edits and does some of them, but I think he's got quite a big sized team of people now who do, you know, a bunch of the edits. He's certainly got enough time to do his Shadow Foam's responsibilities as well. Unless he hurt his leg at the People's Orchestra, then we're going to have a word with him. There you go, Matt. Fair play, mate. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? I remember thinking it's crazy to have an MBE. He doesn't wear his medal. I tell him he should. He should just have his medal proudly pinned to his chest. Just vibing wherever he goes with his medal on. It was on Channel 5 a while back. Not sure where it'll end up over 50D. Right, yeah. We're on the final throws now. We're on the last 8. Pat says, so how did you guys meet again? Me and Matt? Well, Matt works for me, for Shadow Foam. Matt's worked here for... $1 year and 9 months, something like that maybe. Maybe a year and 6 months. Matt will tell you. So obviously I've been running Shadow Foam for 13 years this month. Rich Cook, hello Jona, sorry, just arrived. Which is your fave? Oh, Zollstock. It's got to be the Shadow Phone one, I'd say. The Shadow Phone one, or I do like the Pika one. The Pika one is nice. I do like the Wii one, the electrician's one as well. So one of those two, I'd say. Have you already answered it? No, don't worry. What were we talking about? We were talking about Matt and how we met. Yeah, so we met at Matt's interview. Yeah, I'd watched Matt's portfolio of work beforehand, and he was editing videos for another YouTube channel. And we're a team of 15, so we were making videos before Matt, but we've kind of switched gears a little bit since Matt has been here, and we do create a lot more content now with Matt here than we did beforehand. I'm off, Mark. Well, thanks very much for joining, and thanks for your insight as well. Is there a plastic Zollstock from here? And there is yeah, there is. I've got it as well. And funnily enough, the Bosch one is the same. Although the Bosch one doesn't advertise as being a plastic electrical Zollstock, it's the same one. So Bosch and Weir, that's the Bosch one that's the Weir one, but Bosch is the same. I think I've ended up switching those over actually, but mixed them up as well. Where did that one go? Oh, it went there. Yeah, thanks for joining us though. Abdul says the Shadow Foam are one. Why not if it's your own brand? That's it. That's our brand. And it was after starting the collection and seeing them all, I thought that is something we have a little bit of merch. Matt's on 2 years and 7 months. Oh, Matt, I've offended you there, haven't I? Look, I've not got a head for numbers, and my memory's atrocious. So, look, you're gonna have to forgive me, Matt. I've knocked a full year of career off you there. He's down to 2.5. I've knocked him down to a year and 6 months, and he's a year and 7 months. Well, that's how time flies, doesn't it? What can I say? You must have been doing something right for me to be... imagine if I said it's felt like about 10 years. 64 years, like that Titanic meme. The old lady Rose. 84 years. Craig Harper, I'm a car mechanic. Recently got a toolbox made by Grant Engineering in Northern Ireland. Would be a good relationship as they build custom workshop stuff. I can confirm they go well together. Cool, interesting. Always cool to hear about a kind of a British manufacturer, and a British manufacturer of toolboxes is awesome. I love Ireland, to be fair. I love Ireland in its entirety, but I was in Northern Ireland, I think it was last summer. That's probably totally wrong as well. It might have been the summer before, but I was in Northern Ireland, and it was lovely. I like Irish music, so, but it's very green and lovely, sure. To be sure. Mark, nice. I have them both, but now it's time. Bye-bye. Right, thanks very much, Mark. Same time next Monday, Mark. We'll see you. About time Matt got a pay rise. Hey, don't worry about Matt. He's had a couple of pay rises, as our Matt. He's I look after everyone, but the way that Matt's roles worked is that he kind of started, and I think I do it quite a lot with everybody really. They have like a probation period, and then when they come out of the probation they have a pay rise anyway, and then just the nature of what he's done, he's kind of been promoted basically. His role's kind of grown, and so not traditional pay rise in the sense that he's doing the same thing and getting, you know, just a pay rise doing the same thing. His role's kind of he's taken on more responsibility, and he's been looked after. He's all right, Matt. Well, I hope he is. He'll tell you in the comments. Gonna go for it. Maybe it's been asked before, but how did you get into Shadow Foam from being an electrician? Basically, I was a site spark. So basically, I work in a factory as a multi-skilled maintenance engineer fixing machinery in a food factory. And I did a 4-year apprenticeship to become that. So I usually say electrician just for sake of ease, but really it's a bit more than that. It's multi-skilled maintenance engineer, and you do with an electrical bias, but it's a bit of a mouthful, that. And what that basically means is that you don't just have electrical tools, you have tools for everything. because you're constantly being asked to do this and that and change it up. So you end up with a whole mechanical tool set and then electrical tools and then, you know, a bit of carpentry tools and a bit of, you know, whatever. You end up with a real mixed bag of stuff. And I ended up buying this big red toolbox here. This is from Machine Mart and it's about 700-800 quid and I got it off eBay for 300. And awkward, NI is not British. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Great Britain, the islands, British Isles. Northern Ireland is part of Britain, isn't it? And then Republic of Ireland is not part of Britain. But regardless, anything made in Europe or British Isles, it's always interesting to hear about and learn about. So I'll make a note of that actually. I made a couple of notes so far, and it was called Grant Engineering Toolboxes. I'll have a look. I'll have a look later. Shadow, Matty, there you go. There you go, from the horse's mouth. He says he can confirm he's well looked after. Very good. I'm happy to hear it, Matt. That you can count that as your appraisal if you don't mind. That's yours, knocked off the list. We're actually coming up to doing appraisals. So I've been having appraisal forms back, and I think we've still best do a formal appraisal, haven't we, Matt? UK is the United Kingdom, or GB, and Northern Ireland. Yeah, United Kingdom is where there's lots of terms, isn't there? British Isles is if you just want to talk about the islands of, including the Isle of Man. Keep it simple, British Isles. It's all lovely green lands. Who made the borders anyway? They're just an invention, aren't they? They're just invented. Ring of Kerry in the south, beautiful place. It's annoying. I've only been to the Republic of Ireland. I've spent 6 weeks in the Republic of Ireland. No, was it 6 weeks? I've spent a couple of weeks. I think it might have been 3 or 4. Basically, I was working there. I was working for a double glazing company called Bystronic Glass, and they make double glazing manufacturing machines. And they were doing a decommission over there, and I was working there like for a few weeks consecutively. And music's gone off. Here we go. And saw a little bit of the town. Bandon near Cork is where I was. But that's the most I've done in Ireland. I'd love to go there and spend a bit more time there. If you're a maintenance engineer, will you ever get into boating, yachts or whatever? I've got a very good friend of mine who's a boat engineer. And it's basically all about being you're better off being a mechanic and being like a diesel fitter. Because it's all diesel engines. I mean, I suppose it's getting more and more electric, but everything he was doing was a big diesel engine in the bottom of a boat. And I think they did have an electrical fault, but it's a different system, isn't it? An electrical system on a car or a boat is slightly different because it's all grounded to the metal and whatnot. Like lower voltage stuff as well. Big money and no tax to be a yacht engineer. Yeah, I think that's what I've heard from my friend Jace, who was a yacht engineer, just travelling everywhere. And the problem is you don't have very much control because you're kind of at the mercy of the oligarch whose boat it is. Do you do foam inserts for beta roll cabs? For a roll cab, you're basically just dealing in rectangles. So if you just measure your drawers, width and depth, you can go on the shadowfoam.com website, go on the custom size page, and you can get custom size rectangle sheets that just slot straight in. Griller's off, have a good show. Thanks for dropping by, mate, and we'll see you, hopefully see you next week. Yeah, go on shadowfoam.com and just plug in your dimensions. We don't have a library of all the different sizes because basically what we've had is website sizes listed online don't tend to be very accurate. We found that they can be wrong. Therefore, the only way to be sure is to either have a relationship with the company and be able to get the numbers from them, or buy the box. That's why we buy all the different toolboxes. Some of the kind of drawings are available online, but they're not reliable, so we buy them. But imagine buying every beta roll cab. It'd bankrupt us quite quickly. And although I'd love having all the toolboxes here, I'd also you know, it'd be like a real life Tetris set, trying to squeeze them all in here. Hey, greetings from Austria. I know a bit off topic, but we say to the roll measure, roll meter. Yes, sounds funny. Oh, great. I'm glad we've had a few chats in here about what different countries call the Zollstock, and I've not heard roll meter yet, so that's cool. And it's interesting, isn't it, how you're so, you know, all the different countries we've heard from are all in a similar area of Europe, all kind of Denmark and Germany. Austria just over the border and got an entirely different name. I wonder what that is derived from. Because I can't remember exactly what he said, but there was a chapman here earlier from Denmark, and he said that they call it a thumb meter in Denmark. TBR, rich cook surely depends on the time at sea. Over 6 months is tax exempt, I think. I suppose it's all how you're set up. It's like anything. So it's all based on where that income, what bank account it's going to, and whether you declare it. And but 6 months at sea, I wonder if that means you're a tax resident of international waters. That's America have a 6 month rule. 6 months boots on the ground in America and you're a tax resident. Mark Petch, I love tools, but you take it to a different level. I just fascinated by tools and the different types of tools that are there. Always discovering new tools and finding different ones. And good to know. I like to know what I don't know, and I think by searching around, I keep finding new stuff. So as long as I keep finding new stuff, I'm going to keep going for it. Believe it or not, that is all of the foams organised, all the tools organised. Whew. That is 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48 Zollstocks all organised in foam. I have got to do some finger pulls, but that's not bad timing. 2.5 hours, that's pretty much how long all the streams have been so far. And we've got 48 Zollstocks all done. I think it's the RFA that if you exceed 6 months at sea, they are tax exempt. Six months at sea. I couldn't think of anything worse. Sounds like a nightmare, 6 months at sea. There we go. Right. Now to watch some awesome darts. Go on then. Chuck a few darts in. Boosh. Right. So we've got all the foam there. That's good. We've had about 70 people watching the whole time. So thank you very much for all watching. Let's start a new game. So we've got it on... it's not on the game at the minute. Let's go for it. Yeah, it's on 501 again. Oh, look at that, nearly. No. 2 not bad darts there. How much did you spend in America? I think the shipping was about £1,400. It worked out about £100 a box, so I sent 14 boxes back. How much did I spend? Can't actually remember. I did math it out at the time. Something like 2 grand, 2.5 grand, maybe a bit more. I did a lot. I took 14 massive 14 of the largest Lowe's shipping boxes, all sent back. Full flex stack, the full tough built stack, the full Klein mod box stack, loads of tools. Keep it up, Mark says. Not a knock off. Well, cheers, Mark. Now to watch them also. Yeah, I've read that one. How much did you spend? Yeah, read that one. Bought a very expensive Klein hacksaw the other day. It's a nice bit of kit. Klein tools. So far, for me, they've not missed. I've not bought a Klein tool yet that I've not liked. They do have some... I've got a triple, that'll do. Triple dipple. Would love to see tool reviews from you. Your opinion matters. You've been in this game longer than me. It might have stopped me buying an expensive hacksaw. Yeah, I've not bought the Klein hacksaw. If you watch the Klein mod box video, you probably have, to be fair, Neil, but I do a Klein Tools match up in that. I don't review them. To be honest, it's... oh, heck. It's because I don't really feel like I can. Not that I can't just give my opinion on a tool, but without actually trying it, I don't feel like I can really say too much other than it feels good, it's got nice packaging, it's maybe feels nice, the kind of, the build quality is good because I can kind of look at that straight away. I can look at the features, I can look at like how it's made, the quality, you know, different things that you can tell in the immediate, and I can compare it to other things I've seen. But really, until I've put it through its paces, I don't feel like I can comment too much. So giving things a review, it's a bit tricky because it's the nature of the beast with YouTube. When you're in the trade, you start making videos, but then now I'm making videos, I've got to keep up with the videos. I don't have almost the time to be out doing the job to put the tools to the test. So it's a bit of a catch-22 really. I wouldn't mind doing some like putting them to the test, having like some laid out tests, you know, with drills, like drilling like 50 screws, something like that. But then what do you do for like a hacksaw, to test a hacksaw out? You know, because if I'm cutting a load of like, you know, stud work or something, I'm really only testing the blade, so maybe like throwing it around the room a bit. Would love to see, yeah, brother, how many days were you in States for? It was just a week, 7 days, but it was like I did loads of stuff while I was there. I got loads of stuff sorted. I like the look of the camera and the swagger when you hit the 2020. Oh yeah, look at this one, aren't I? Oh, this is the problem with the cameras, because I'm talking to that camera and you're over here in 2020. Yeah, well, about time I got one, innit? I'll try and read the comments on here. They're a lot smaller on this screen. What did you do before Shadow Foam? So I was a maintenance engineer, 4-year apprentice, like classic apprenticeship, where you pay your dues for 4 years and get paid peanuts, and then started working in a factory, repairing machines, electrical bias, so electrically qualified, and loved that. And then I worked in lots of different factories. So, I need to pay attention here. I'm on 121. So, I did about 2.5 years in a medical devices factory that made bandages, and that was fascinating because they make alginate dressings, and they make them out of essentially seaweed. So, if you've ever seen a really fine white dressing that absorbs a lot, that's made out of an alginate derived from seaweed, and so I worked there for 2 years. Fascinating, lovely process, nice and clean. But after a few years, you get bored of it. And then I went from there into Bistronic glass, which was double glazing machinery. And that was because that was a traveling role where you're going up and down the country, installing, decommissioning, repairing double glazing machinery. And that's fascinating as well, because it's totally different. It's like, oh, I'm throwing them all over the place when I'm talking. Because obviously in medical, you've got like regulations for cleanliness, but in double glazing, there's nothing like it. It's literally make the glass windows as cheap as possible. So that was very, very different. Oh, another one. Oh, 20 and I buzzed it. You're joking, man. I need to get 8 and then double 20, to be fair. Let's get an 8 and then a double 20. 11. That's not good. 5. And then double 16. Whew. So yeah, that was interesting, travelling around the double glazing stuff. Johnny, do you use tools from PB Swiss? Yeah, I've got a couple of very, very expensive PB Swiss. We've got a contact at the PB Swiss factory. We'd love to go there and have a look at their factory because it's fascinating. Their tools, and still made in Switzerland and high quality. Klein flush cutters, I need to catch up. Klein flush cutters are decent, to be fair. Everything I've had from Klein is really good. The cutters, I got them there, the Macmillan Cancer ones, aren't they? Again, I've not used them, so. Have you got much channel lock stuff? Got a bit of stuff from America, channel lock, all nice. I've got another video in the queue is American tools you can get in the UK, and I've got a couple of channel lock tools that are going to be in that video that aren't up yet. My trash talk seems to have upped your game. Well, I've had 2 2020s. Jona, do you see? Yeah, I've read that one. Loads of channel lock tools coming soon on the channel. Yeah, that's from Matty. William, nice one, dude. I'm starting an electrical journey now. Thanks. Have a lovely evening. You too, William. Have a lovely evening, mate. What are we on? 16, double 8. Come on. Bust. I'm well ahead of the bot. What's it doing here now? Let's have an 8. Why has it done that now? It's gone off its head here. Right, 8. It's no fun. I want the personalised bot to win. Take me. Stop the torture of trying to hit a double 8. Double 2. Double 2 should be easier. It's a bit more central. That'll do. Boosh. So I won 1 in the end. And there we go. Tony, come back on Monday. I'll tell you all about how we started Shadow Foam. Oh, watch this stream back because I just answered William who asked me, no, he asked me about what I did. And then there's a chap about 20 minutes ago asked about where I started Shadow Foam. And basically, from being an apprentice and having this big red toolbox, I wanted to get it organised and nothing really existed. So 13 years ago, I kind of went on the journey to create a product that you could use to easily organise your tools. And that's how Shadow Foam was born. And obviously we're here now and we've sell a lot of Shadow Foam and we've kind of brought it to its final form. It's a lot easier to use now than it was 13 years. The first version was a bit tricky, but now you can just cut around the shapes, peel back the foam and create super clean and easy organisers. Obviously tonight we've spent the time, let me flick to the front camera. Tonight we've organised 48 Zollstocks in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours whilst talking. To be fair, I spent half an hour at the start just talking and chatting through the Zollstocks. So about 2 hours, I've cut 3 liners, which I think is not bad going. Let me move that camera down so you can see the, there you go. So we've cut all those 48 Zollstocks, and these are the Zollstocks I collect in my, in the tool hunt videos, basically. So there we go. I thought you were going to end up on Madhouse. I don't know what that means. What's Madhouse? Is that like a house? Like the, on a house, right? Oh, like bullseye on the darts. No, always end on a double. Traditional darts end on the double, which is the hardest bit, to be fair. So thanks very much for watching. We've had about 70 all the way through, which is amazing. 70 of you have watched me cut a load of tools in foam and just talk tools, and it's been awesome to kind of answer a question. We had some great questions this week. Come back next week, same time, Monday at 6. Next week, it's going to be a bit of a surprise because there's a couple of options for what we're doing on stream. And hopefully, it'll be something a bit different. Cutting some foam, but maybe not just some drawers in the toolbox. So we'll put a schedule on. That'll probably go out on Friday with this week's video, which is going to be a banger. Thanks very much for watching and see you next week.